old Tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Is this anyone's first podcast?
It's mine.
It's mine. I'm a podcast.
Yours?
Hey guys, welcome back to my favorite show in the entire world, and I'm sure it's going to be yours here pretty soon. Welcome back to Access Vegas. We're having a great time here. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our audience. We did this. Nobody died last night.
No. We're doing this after one of the most raginest parties we've ever done.
All right, so actually the first episode of Access Vegas was the day after my birthday, and so we did this one also. So we're going to get to we're going to go ahead and name our guest here. The first one, she is from Las Vegas, Nevada. She's a DJ. She's got her album releasing on December 1st. It is Miss Alley Cat. You can catch her on stage.
Her triumphant return to Access
Vegas. Beautiful. We also have, she's from Vegas. She's an adult film star. She's a first ballot Hall of Famer, Miss Sarah Jesse. How's it going, Sarah?
Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. She's from Huntington Beach, California. She's a YouTuber. She's an OnlyFans model. And this is Miss Alligator. How you doing, Allie?
Hi.
Hello.
All right, awesome. He's from Dallas. He's an anti-New World Order content creator, graphic designer, and we also happen to have the same last name and carry 50% of the same genetics.
A rare treat tonight.
It is Patrick Sartain. Welcome, Patrick Sartain. Super soon to be up and coming Rumble star and banned off Twitch very soon. All right, here we go. And also, she is from Frog Level, Arkansas. She, by way of Houston, she's a Swimsuit USA finalist and the ultimate winner of the Michael Sartain Girlfriend Sweepstakes. It is Kylie McGahey.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful. All right, and also she's from Scottsdale. She's a former playmate, and she has a Reiki healing practice. It is Miss Reiki.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it. It's Miss Jessica Rose. How you doing, Jessica?
Well, hi. How are you?
Beautiful. Beautiful. He's from Medellin, Colombia. He's my business partner and co-founder of Men of Action Mentoring Program. He's built several seven-figure businesses. Has a bachelor's in mathematics and a master's in financial mathematics. It is Miguel Colon. How's it going, Miguel?
Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. She's from Vegas. She's a U.S. Air Force senior airman, KC-135 loadmaster, and she also used to do porn. This is.
I still do.
She's a podcaster, and she owns a coffee company, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Mrs. Alexis Fox. How you doing, Alexis?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. She's from Calgary. She has a master's in international business, and she's probably fucking your girlfriend right as soon as we get off the air right now.
Yes.
This is a good sign, though. While she's live streaming, she can't be fucking your girlfriend. That's Miss Katie Moore.
The Katie Moore.
All right, and she's also from Las Vegas. She's a model. She's a live streamer. Sabrina Elsie.
Yes.
Sabrina, I got it. I keep saying Sabrina at least, but Sabrina, she's also she was also a competitor over there at Wet Republic. So glad to have Sabrina here. Beautiful. That's everybody we got coming on the show today. I'm glad to have you guys, and I'm very dehydrated for certain reasons.
I was going to say, and all of you were at the last night's festivities.
We were.
Yes.
I think everyone here was. That's pretty crazy.
And so what did we do? Where did we go?
So yeah,
recount what we did?
So last night for my birthday. So it was 2 years ago. We did. I can go back. 3 years ago during the pandemic, we did it at Mike Evers' house, and we had like 54 people show up, like 54 girls show up. And we had a photo shoot. All the nightclubs were closed. Sorry, Governor, we broke all the rules, and we just had a fucking massive rager. This was October of 2020. October 2021. Then we had I did my 10th episode. Bilzerian came on. That was 2 days later. Then I had my birthday party. Dan came to that, and it was a huge one that we did at Omnia. Where everybody dressed up in orange for the Texas Longhorns, and they wore cat ears because I'm a cat lover. Then last year, everybody dressed up like a cheerleader. We did it at Zoop.
That was my first experience.
Yeah, shout out to Ron Nicoli for setting that up. And then I talked to Jason Strauss. We had one at Hakkasan. My boy DJ Pauly D was spinning, and everybody dressed up as Barbie and Ken, and had a shirt on that said,
attempted to.
I am Knuff. All the girls were wearing pink, and that was pretty awesome. It was a pretty awesome rager, and you'll never believe this. For the 10th year in a row, I was hit in the face with a cake. And I just did not see it coming. I don't know how I keep forgetting every time that somebody's going to hit me in the face
Video
with
is
cake.
in post-production right now,
And
actually.
I never get to eat the cake. In 10 years, I've never once got to eat the cake. So anyway,
Are you
that's what
sure?
happened. Huh? I can take a second, like a little bit of it. You guys can
Just
check.
a mouthful.
You guys can check on. My IG story, and you can see all the debauchery that we got involved in, and just see really why the decay of American society is happening. It's because of us. It's
And
because
it's all
people
here, right in Las
It's
Vegas.
happening right here in Las
Yes.
Vegas. We're the reason.
Ground zero.
We're the reason that
Moral
it's happening.
degeneracy, we got it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this question because I was having a conversation with James Sexton, who's going to come on my show in November. James Sexton is this famous divorce attorney, and he has a really interesting take on divorce and intersexual dynamics. And he's not anti-marriage. You'd think being a divorce attorney that he might be, but he really isn't. But he does see things from a different point of view. And one of the things that I'm starting to notice, because I just finished Book of Numbers by Aaron Clary. Fantastic book.
excellent. Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
here, there's no reason to not read that book. It is so short. It is fucking
Aaron
phenomenal.
Clary, who will be back in Las Vegas in November.
Please, let's get Aaron Clary on the way. Aaron Clary is an economist, but he's probably the only economist in the world who basically looks at the amount of time that women spend looking for men and the amount of time that men spend looking for women, and what is the economic cost of those things.
Oh, wow.
And then he looks at the predicament that happens when you have social media that make women and men delusional as to what they can get, and therefore they are wasting their time. They're aiming too high for who they can get, and they're dissatisfied with their current partner because social media has sort of ruined their ability to get the dopamine hit off their perfectly good partner that they found. And like what I like to say before, someone who was, I have a friend of mine, I mentioned her before, JoJo Von Salty. JoJo was in Wichita, Kansas, and she was probably the cutest girl at the Hooters in Wichita, Kansas, let's say 2004. And one day she gets a message on Instagram, and she gets flown out to a party in Los Angeles, and then all of a sudden she's modeling in Los Angeles. What would have happened in 1985 is that the cutest girl at the Hooters in Wichita would have dated the personal injury attorney or the cardiologist or whoever. There would have been some sort of matching. Huh?
In
In
Wichita.
Wichita. You would have had a match of like the 7s and the 7s and the 8s and the 8s. But that's happened. That's ended. Because of social media, what's happened is every girl who's attractive in Wichita, who's attractive in Waco, who's attractive in Cheyenne, Wyoming, who's attractive in Secaucus, New Jersey, all of them leave to go to Miami, Las Vegas, or Los Angeles. You have disproportionately attractive women in those cities. And if you're ever in a place like Waco, you just realize all the women, as soon as they turn 18, either have 4 kids or they left the fucking town immediately to get out of there. And so what happened is now there's a disproportion where there's no middle class for men anymore. There's no like average dude who gets an average girl and like lives happily ever after. And then conversely, women keep comparing themselves to like the hottest shortstop, power forward, or country singer that they fucked one time backstage at a concert, or hit them up in the DMs, and they're like, well, this is what I'm worth now. Because I got a message from Champagne Poppy one time, Drake, therefore any man who does not compare with Drake cannot be my boyfriend, because this is the standard upon which I live. And because of this, the dynamic between men and women have been fractured since the creation of social media. And so what's happened is now we're wasting massive amounts of time on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge. And one of the things that they go over is like literally like 6,000 left swipes for like one date is what some women are going through. The top, like I mentioned before, the top 10% of men on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge are getting 63% of the right swipes. The top 20% of men are getting 83% of the right swipes. You see Tyler over here cheering because he gets nothing but right swipes. But what's happened is a disproportionately small amount of men are getting all this attention from women. And the vast majority of men are deemed to be unattractive by the vast majority of women.
Invisible. Most
Women find most men to be unattractive. Whereas conversely, and I've used this stat before, and I love this statistic because it kind of shows the difference. The top 63% of right swipes for women go to 43% of women. Again, the top 63% of right swipes for men go to the top 10% of men. But the top 43% of women, which means men see 5s as 5s, 6s as 6s, and 7s as 7s. Women see 5s as 0s, 6s as 0s, 7s as 0s, 8s as 0s, 9s as like 5s, and 10s as 10s. Like that's how they start to see men, and they start to see these things disproportionately. We've done on this show ad nauseum the delusional calculator, where we have women come in there, we ask them what the
I'll bring
average
that up in a bit.
Yeah, what the average height they want. They all want 6 feet taller. How much they want these men to make? 6 feet taller. That's the top 14% of the population. They want to make $100,000 a year. That puts you in the top 26% of the
Allie's laughing
population.
because it's all she never.
so true.
You've never intimidating.
You're speaking back.
The top 26% of the population, they want them to be obese. Well, men who aren't obese, that's only 25% of men that are not obese, and you want them to not be married. Well, guess what, ladies? All the good-looking guys who are fit make $100,000 a year. A lot of them are fucking married. By the way, 30% of the men on Tinder are married. 30 fucking percent. That is like one of the most outrageous statistics. For some of you, it's probably not. Or if you're an exotic dancer or whatever, you're probably like, yeah, I thought it would be 50%. But for me, I just like where society has broken somewhere. If 30% of men on Tinder are married, that is mind-boggling to me, right? They're not even considering the concept of monogamy. Now, everything I just said, it does sound like a lot of gloom and doom. And what my question for you is, who here believes that in the future you would be comfortable with a traditional monogamy? This is something that you're looking for, a traditional monogamy. Jessica.
Closed on his end, closed on your end.
Jessica, would you be comfortable or like today with a traditional monogamous relationship?
Are you in a relationship right now?
I would think I would be.
Closer to the mic,
Close
please.
to the mic. There you go.
Yeah, I think
Eat the
so.
mic. Mhm.
Yes, monogamy is something I
Okay, but hold
would
on.
be mad about.
So let's not think of it theoretically. Do you think that the concept of you living in Scottsdale, finding a man that you find attractive enough to be in a relationship with, but he's not so attractive that he's going to have a hard time not cheating, stepping out on you, those things like that? Do you think traditional monogamy is the only way for you to go forward?
No.
You don't. What other alternatives do you see?
Maybe an open relationship,
Yeah.
maybe,
Like-
but with like trust and honesty.
Okay.
You know, not hiding it and not doing it behind their back, but like open about it.
And it'd be open on your end as well.
Correct.
Okay, so that's what you would look for.
Open.
So polyamory. That's the word for it. Sorry,
Okay, now I know.
It's the Greek word that means poly means many. Sorry. Yes.
Mono, poly.
Many loves.
Cool. Alexis, what do you think?
I'm not a monogamy type of person.
Yeah.
I believe in communication and comprehension on all partners. It doesn't mean I'm against monogamy. It just means I don't feel it's right for me.
Are you still filming studio adult work now?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now,
I'm contracted with Brazzers.
Beautiful. So in doing so, have you ever had a situation, because we talked about this with Sarah before, where she's in a relationship and she still films? Have you had that? Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, I certainly have.
Did that ever make your partner feel uncomfortable, or was your partner in the industry? Like, how did that work?
One partner, I think, definitely made him feel uncomfortable because of his friends saying, "Hey, this is your chick." Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da. And that's an insecurity issue on him, not my problem.
Yeah.
The other person did not have an issue at all with it, but it's just different people for different things.
So, but you just monogamy is not something that you want to do in the future?
Nothing. Yeah, I've had it in the past, and I know for a fact that there's just something that I'm not. I don't even want to live with the other person.
Got it.
I'm a very lone wolf. I'm very comfortable. I've got my own things going on, and they could be a neighbor, but I'm not really interested in living with the actual person.
Same.
Got it. Katie, what about you?
I could do a monogamous relationship for sure.
Okay. Now, what are the scenarios by which that would happen? What do you think?
What does that look like to you?
So, definitely wouldn't happen in Vegas.
Okay.
Right. So it would be, so I'm from Calgary. It would be back home dating some guy who works in trades. It would be a completely different scenario than dating somebody who's out in Vegas in the sea.
So whenever I hear women say this, and I totally appreciate this, and again, if this was 1986, I would believe you. The problem is there's no way you'd have a wandering eye for the plumber that you're married to a fucking plumber. When you say the trades, that's what you mean. You mean a plumber, electrician, a carpenter, or maybe even like a vocation like accountant, attorney, whatever.
Teamster.
Teamster, whatever. and you're saying from that standpoint, all of the stimulus that you see on social media would not cause you to stray at all?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Now, would you also be open to the possibility that doesn't work out and that you don't have a traditional monogamous relationship?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, what would that look like?
So personally for me, I have no interest in hooking up with other people. If I'm into you, I'm into you. You're my person.
What about just to be petty?
No.
And then send him a picture
Let
of
me
it.
get pissed off.
No.
Hey, you remember when you didn't call me before? Here's Tyrone. Fuck off.
We should ask that later. Have you ever hooked up out of spite?
Yes.
That's a good one.
That's one of the.
There's
200 reasons?
there's actually an article on that recently.
All right, well,
I'll see if I can look it up.
write that
I'll
down.
look it up.
Write that down. I love that idea. Okay, so it would be a polygynous relationship for you.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sabrina.
I would prefer to have a monogamous relationship at this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be comfortable with any other type of relationship, or just rather be single?
Are you in a relationship right now?
I am not in a relationship right now. I think I'd be open to the idea with the right person, but I would take a lot of time.
Yeah. To
A
be
lot of
comfortable
time.
with like a polygynous relationship.
Sure.
And you don't think you'd be interested in like other dudes in the relationship, or would you?
What do you mean?
So a polyamorous relationship would be you would see other men and he sees other women.
Sure.
A polygynous relationship would be like you and both of you see other women. A
I'm-
polyandrous relationship would be the two of you see other men.
I guess I'm really fine with other. I guess I wouldn't want to say polyamory. I would say more like an open relationship in the sense that I would want to keep my commitments to one person on like a
Yeah.
deeper foundational level.
For sure.
But maybe sexually explore with other people.
Okay.
That's it.
There we go. Let's go to the
That's
commune.
the
Let's
one.
do it. The sex commune. Let's do it. All right. Let's raise the children in the village. All right. Allie, what about you?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with monogamy. I'm also fine with poly, but I prefer more of like a hierarchy poly.
So there's a main girl and a unicorn.
No, that's a triad more. So I mean, like, if I have a boyfriend and he wants to like sleep with other chicks on the side, that's fine as long as our relationship comes first.
Got it. Okay.
Honesty and trust.
So,
Yeah.
so let's talk about this. I'm going to keep recommending this until all you guys fucking read this book, The Evolution of Desire by David Buss. It is the most phenomenal book.
Read the 2016
Yeah, the
version.
newest one, the 2016 version. When you read the book, one of the things they talk about is women are far more interested, like 2-to-1, all the way to 10-to-1, more interested in the concept of men procuring resources than the other way around. Like, so they would look at. There's one study they would do where they would take a man and they would put him Rolex watch with a suit on. Then they'd have a guy with the t-shirt and jeans, and the same guy dressed as a McDonald's worker. Same thing with women. They would have a woman. She has the Cartier watch, the Cartier bracelet, the really nice gown, the Vera Wang, and the fucking $750,000 Himalaya. And then right here, she's just in like a sundress, and right here, she's in a McDonald's uniform. For women, they would ask, what is the likelihood of you considering dating or getting into a relationship with any of these three men? The man at the top, it was like 83% of the women said yes. The man in the middle, it was like 17%. And no one said that they would consider being in a relationship with a guy in a McDonald's uniform. Zero. His ability, or rather his status, which indicated how much money he could make, or his ability to procure resources, or his competency, was by far the most important indicator. And as women got older, it actually became more of an important indicator than how strong his jaw was or how tall he was. For men, they didn't give a fuck if she worked as a mechanic or an astronaut or a firefighter or a sandwich artist. If she was hot, they could not have cared less. There was no difference between the girl that had the Himalaya and the girl who worked at McDonald's. Men found them attractive. So that's the difference. It's a massive difference. Now, here's the thing that happens when we talk about like a patriarchy or a hierarchy. When you deal with that situation, if one gender is so concerned with the other gender's ability to procure resources, wouldn't it make sense for that second gender to do everything they could to procure resources? Wouldn't that make them more assertive, more aggressive in order to procure those resources? And in doing so, create manifest the world that we live in, the roads and the infrastructure and the buildings and the electricity. Again, I'm not saying, do you understand what I'm saying? My point is this, is like the reason why men are so assertive and end up dominating so many industries in the world is because they're trying to fucking impress women.
Yes.
Do you understand? And if women weren't selective, we'd still be living in caves. That's the difference.
Right.
Every single large accomplishment that has happened, the invention of the transistor, even relativity, like Albert Einstein discovers
All
relativity.
guys trying to get in there.
Albert Einstein.
How do I get in there?
A great example.
gotta be a way.
Einstein wins a Nobel Prize for the photoelectric effect, and he does general and special relativity, and then he ends up like dating a bunch of like beautiful women. Apparently, he supposedly fucked Marilyn Monroe at one point. Like that's what ends up happening, right? Everybody does it. Steve Jobs was dating multiple supermodels. You obviously see, Elon Musk has kids with like 9 different people at this point. All these accomplishments were done by men to become assertive and aggressive to impress women. So why is that? Is it because women think of this in a vacuum? No, it's because women, whenever surveyed, are more. And this is, by the way, it's a 37 culture study. In every one of these cultures, women were significantly more interested in a man's ability to procure resources, especially in like Middle Eastern countries, South American countries, not as much in places like Norway.
Funny you should say that. You don't even have to go back to 2016. You can get it right now today in 2023. Couples in which the woman is the only earner report lower life satisfaction.
Yes, it's very common for when a woman starts to out earn a man for divorce to soon follow.
Many women will at least temporarily be the breadwinner at some point in the relationship. Changing employment trends and gender roles will affect many households, but our new peer-reviewed study shows that for heterosexual couples, well-being is lower when the woman is the sole earner versus the man who is the breadwinner, or if both parties are employed.
And this has happened a lot because all of a sudden you have girls, since 2019 get on OF and they're making, 20K.
Way
Listen,
more.
like for some girls, 20K a month seems like nothing, right? That's not that much. 100K a month is not a big deal. But 100K a month, that when the average man in the United States makes, anybody?
75.
37.
Oh boy, God, I wish it was 75.
$39,000 a year.
That's average?
Yes.
Yeah.
39. Look at Jesse's face. 39,000 a year. 39,000 a year.
Live off that.
And you're pulling even 10K a month of OF, right? Of course, OF is going to take 2,000, so 8K a month of OF. It's still
So you're making above the poverty line in 1 month.
correct. So do you guys understand the issue? That's the problem. So now all of a sudden you have the girls that go off and do this, and now we have an issue where all of a sudden the wage gap changes to the other way, where women are making so much money, and it puts some stress on the relationship. I've seen this happen many times. Sarah, you have an interesting situation. What would you be interested in, a traditional monogamy? Because you're still filming.
Yeah. No, you totally make a good point about that. It depends on this. Depends on the scenario, the person that you're with, because so I still film, but outside of that, I don't want to be with anyone else except for my partner. And I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but it makes sense to me because it's a job. But that's how I feel in my mind. I can separate it.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't able to compartmentalize it like that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But I've learned to do that. When I was younger, maybe not, but now.
Was that
I
a
feel
process
like
for him to sort of accept that and to get into that, or was it just something you just got lucky and you found a guy who was like that?
So I've dated a lot of guys who weren't okay with it. Obviously, it didn't work out because I'm not the type of girl who quits my job for a guy. Whereas a lot of girls in my industry will, and then you're like, where'd they go? And then they come back in a few years because they're with the guy. You know what I mean? But I've never done that because this is my career. This is how I make money. It's a limited time that you can do it. So make it while you can. I got lucky and found someone who understands that. And it wasn't easy at first, but it's like once they get to know you as a person, they're like, okay, I love you. Like I can look past that.
I think a lot more guys, like average guys today, are going to have to deal with exactly what your man deals with right now. Now, this is like people go, well, she's a porn star. It's porn star problems, right? No, it's like every guy's problems right now.
With OF,
because OF makes it more and more and more common. Even if she's just pulling a few $100 or $1,000 a month, that's sort of like just a slush fund or something, just like gravy money or something like that. They're still going to have to be okay with that because women are still it's easy money. Can you expect me to give this up? And so we create these kind of these social contrivances to say, well, I'm an independent woman and you need to accept that and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But you're at a level that's up here, but the average guys are down here and they still have to deal. That's why I asked you whether it was a process for him or if it was just, you just got lucky with it.
No, it's a little bit of a process. And like you said, the women are making more than most men and you can't ask them to.
And there's no way
that.
guys, especially average guys can really compete with that, at least not in the immediate, the now, right? So later on they might be able to.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say, otherwise you can date a rich guy who will take care of you, but then how long does that last?
And they're few and far between.
Like he was saying. And I don't want somebody to rely on someone else's money.
It creates a power dynamic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Right.
So, you deal with that. So, it's tough, but you have to find the right person. Yeah. It all depends on the right person.
I was going to say, it's by order of degree right now. So it's one thing to be a porn star and be making a lot of money at it and then finding a guy and then saying, okay, well, I can do this one of two ways. I can find a guy who can accept me for what I'm doing and what my career is and this is how I make money. Or because you're most likely you make more than your guy, right? But the other scenario is I find a guy that is so exotically rich
Yeah.
that he can pull me out of pornography and just like take care of me for the princess that I am, right? And that's a more rare animal than the guy who has to learn how to sort of just accept.
Yeah, and
what
that
you're
happens
about.
a lot too. Like you'll see girls just leave the industry, and then they're like, they met a rich guy, and then a couple of years later,
They're back again.
Right.
because he got sick of them, or he found somebody else, or whatever. So like, that's not a good scenario either.
Definitely
Younger,
not,
hotter, fitter.
yeah.
definitely not every girl who breaks up starts doing porn, but every girl I talked to who does porn, there was always a breakup. Not every time, but there's always like, something, what? And then I was like, my friends have been asking me, I was like, fuck this, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's usually.
Yeah, that didn't happen with me. Like, I knew I wanted to do it. I was just very interested in the industry,
Yeah.
and it was something I wanted to do. It wasn't because of a guy or anything, but yeah, that does happen pretty often.
Yes. What do you think, Allie?
So I've done like poly and monogamy, and I feel like it just depends on the person and situation. And I also agree with like everything she was just saying. Have you ever read the book The Trap?
No.
It's really good. It's about how girls get stuck in sex work because their whole lifestyle depends on it, and then it's like really hard to stop doing it because the money they're making. I would recommend it. It's good.
It's hard for me to stop trapping too.
Who is that by?
Honestly, I don't know, but if you look it up on Amazon, I don't know who asked that, but The Trap. I think it's like The Trap in Sex Work or something like that.
Nice. Kylie, what do you think? No comment?
No, I don't think.
I've been waiting for it to come all the way around.
Let her rip.
Here we go.
Well, I think we skipped her as well, right?
What's that?
For the question about traditional monogamy, right?
Oh, I said like yes, I would be open to
Katie.
it. I've done both. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So you would be open to either one?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I got a good question here. Maybe it's just a follow up here. This is from, thank you, chat, for this one. This is really good. Please ask the women on the set, how much does their age play a factor in their dating life? Is it a big deal?
I have not had a problem.
No.
How old are you?
I'm doing pretty well for myself.
Huh?
How old are you?
I'm 35.
35.
Okay. And you haven't noticed any difference?
No.
Okay. Interesting. You all right? That's pretty interesting. Alexis?
I would say I definitely get hit up by a lot of more younger guys now.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Definitely. But maybe it's because of the roles I played and they've seen that. But yeah.
What is your perfect kind of guy now, Alexis? What is your perfect kind of guy now?
Perfect kind of guy. I would say actually take the guy out and just say person. Definitely have to have a sense of humor. Has to come up, bring as much to the table that I already bring.
Okay.
And that is very rare. And
Yeah, I can see that.
That actually makes it harder for me to date than anything else because immediately I'm just, if you're not going to come to me with as much as I can bring, then I just really don't need you sitting at my table at all.
Yeah.
And I include that with my friends, business people, everything.
Yeah.
good.
One
I like
of the
that.
things that's happened is on many college campuses, about 60% of the people there are women, and 68% of the graduates are women. So you're having women with college degrees. Oh, in some cases have high earning power. In some cases they don't. They're going into places like education that you can get an advanced degree and not really make a lot of money. But when they do that, then they're the men that they're choosing from, again, are trade workers who don't have degrees, who don't make as much money. And then, like you said, you almost can price yourself out of the market because you own the guns and the coffee beans. You know what I'm saying? And you have the
cars.
podcast. And everywhere you go, everyone wants your autograph and you're famous and
Yeah, it's a lot more difficult, I think, for a lot of guys. A lot of guys cannot really just don't measure up to take on that toll.
Yes. Okay. Got it. How about you? Katie?
What was the question again? Sorry.
Has your age, like say from when you're 20 to
Impacted
like
your-
now, has it impacted your dating strategy?
And how old
My
are you,
str-
Katie Moore?
I'm 25 right
Okay.
now. My strategy, no, but it is something I am concerned about, like
Yeah.
getting older and I don't know. It's concerning. Like, what if I'm still single and I'm a little older and
Are you single now, Katie?
yes.
You are? Okay,
Yes.
so if you guys want to pull Katie up off the streets, go ahead and send her a message. The Katie Moore. The Katie Moore.
Katie Moore.
The Katie Moore on
funny.
Instagram. Let's get Katie married.
That's how I remember your name.
Let's get Katie. Hey, let's get Katie a blue passport. Can we do that also? Can we do
No,
that?
don't say that.
Yeah. Let's get her over here. You know what I'm saying? Sabrina.
Has age impacted the way I date? I don't think so. Not at this point.
No.
And how old are you?
I'm 27.
27.
Yeah, it's interesting. Go ahead, Allie.
I don't know that it's really changed. I mean, as I get older, I feel like I'm getting wiser, and I'm not dating the same kind of guys that I was dating when I was younger.
Yeah.
You think that's because you're wiser, or you can't date the same guys?
Because
like
I'm
the
wiser.
same guys aren't as attracted to you.
I'm not as attracted to them.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I kind of cooled down on drinking too, so like
That will impact it.
that would because that affects your
right.
There's studies that show the
Your-
correlation between like drinking and like the number of sexual partners, and it is outrageous. Like
Oh,
it is
yeah.
crazy. I talk to girls
Yeah.
who go to AA, and they're like, "Yeah, I haven't fucked in like 4 years
Yeah,
since I stopped drinking."
right?
Like the amount. What was it? Who's that? Who's that?
Because you make better decisions when you're sober. Yeah.
Who's the
I'm like,
fucking?
I don't know. Who knew?
Who's the Asian female comedian who talked about when I stopped drinking, all the unnecessary blowjobs she stopped giving? Nobody clip this. Don't clip this. Don't clip me saying
That's the
that.
clip.
But it was just. It's really funny.
There you go, Destiny.
I
Take
think
that
I've
one.
had more sex sober than I've ever had it drunk. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, a lot of
Probably
people.
better
And
sex,
I
too.
like it more sober too.
Hey, let me ask you
and
something.
not just because it's my job.
That's a good question.
Let me ask you something, ladies. The first time you have sex with a guy, the likelihood of you being like either marijuana, cocaine, alcohol counts. You guys being at least a little bit inebriated the first time you have sex
Heroin,
with a guy.
crank, you know.
Jesse, anybody else?
Trucker
Yeah. What do you, Katie?
Yeah, you need like a little like you need to loosen up.
Allie, no. Sarah, yes.
I'm always stoned.
You're always stoned. Allie, yes.
I'm probably permanently stoned, but I don't need anything.
Yeah,
to
you don't
get
need
down.
anything.
Tiffany
I will
Fox is going to come in
say-
here and raise her hand for just being stoned.
Yeah, from my experience, that is one thing that's kind of crazy because like if you're a dude and you're sober, you're just like far less likely to end up sleeping with women because in general because like when I talk to my female friends and I'm like how many of the last 5 guys you slept with, how many of them were you drunk or high or whatever the first time you had sex with them? And it's like 100% of the time. I'm like that's crazy.
But sober sex is better.
No, agreed, but
yeah.
But the first time that you're
That's
with
not the
someone,
question,
like your
though.
inhibitions need to be
Yeah.
a
Yes.
little
Yeah.
So those
lower.
inhibitions come from evolution, and those inhibitions have to be overcome. But because you know intuitively, you can wear a condom, or you could be fixed. You could have a hysterectomy. You could have anything. Sorry, I rescue animals. I'm going to say fixed.
I love it.
I do not put humans above animals. Okay.
I'm the vasectomologist.
Yes.
And this guy just used fix. Okay,
For sure.
I'm the asshole.
But anyway, but going back to that, like if your genes understood what condoms were, you would look at condoms like acid, like you would run away from them. Your genes want to spread, but your genes have no comprehension of contraceptives, and so when you guys have sex. Realistically, you're not going to have a baby every time you have sex, but your genes don't know that, and that's the reason why you still have this inhibition every time you have sex with a guy. Because your ancestors, if they had sex with the wrong person, they would be ostracized from whatever tribe they lived in 50,000 years ago, and there was a 100% correlation between ostracization and death. You were going to die, and your child was going to die because you fucked the wrong guy. Just imagine, Nina. Just imagine, Nina Agdal is getting skewered
Fucked
on
a lot of wrong guys.
Yes, Nina Agdal. Nina Agdal is getting skewered on Twitter right now because of her being with a couple of dudes. But like that's not. She's still going to be famous, even if Logan Paul leaves her. There's still going to be a line forming to the left of dudes who want to get with her. That will never end for her. Does that make sense? Her ancestor, if she did something similar, she dies. She just fucking dies. Like that's how crazy. So when you understand, most women, especially when they're younger, have a little bit of apprehension the first time they have sex with a guy. It's because of evolution. And again, if men were not trying to compete with other men for picky women, we would live in caves. We'd all have AIDS. We'd all just be fucking. If women didn't have standards, we'd live in cardboard boxes. We'd live in fucking caves. That's what would happen. It is men's propensity to compete with other men for access to women that caused the world around you to exist. Nuclear fusion, the transistor, satellites, all of it, the infrastructure, the highway system, every single bit of it came from men competing with other men for women. Going back to, hold on, did the age question, does age have any impact on your dating?
Oh, okay. Well, I definitely make better choices.
Yeah.
Being older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were some of the bad choices you made previously?
Oh God, the worst. Just a whole list of them.
Did you ever have a situation where you were dating someone in the industry and you were jealous of what they were doing, or they were jealous of something you were doing?
No, I tried to date like a few directors and I tried, but it just never worked out. I never dated seriously in the industry.
Yeah.
I just felt like a lot of them were like the way they viewed women. Just I didn't like it. I don't know. Do you feel like that sometimes?
I don't date in the industry because I don't like to shit and eat at the same place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't want any problems. I don't want any problems.
It's a good rule of thumb, but
and there is, because some people, I don't like that guy. Please don't shoot with him. Well, fuck that. That's my money that you're talking about. No. I shoot with who I want to shoot with, and people are on my no list because I put them there because of the reasons I want to put them there.
This applies to other businesses.
I actually
as well.
like normal people doing different things because it also creates conversation and it gives me something. I don't want to talk about shop all day with you.
Exactly.
So I want to don't you guys want to listen to Alexis talk around a campfire while we're
right? I know.
roasting shit while she's loading bullets into a fucking AR-15.
I also have my own beer.
Your own beer. She's drinking a beer. It's I don't give a fuck about these motherfuckers. They want me to shoot with him. Fuck this. I just feel like she would be an incredible story. Hey, you want to know something?
Uncle Jan, what do you think of this?
Who are the best storytellers I've ever met in my life? Who are the best storytellers? They're fucking NCOs in the U.S. military. They absolutely are. And it's really funny because another great storyteller is Nara Ford, who was an E3 in the Air Force. You were an E4 in the Air Force. I just want to know, what was your experience like being a loadmaster in the U.S. Air? So here's the irony.
I had a good time.
I was a fucking KC-135 instructor navigator, and you were a loadmaster in a KC-135. You were at Grand Forks. I was at Robbins and McConnell. What was that like? So because I have a friend of mine. She's a navigator in an F-15. She called me after we both went to OTS together, and she called me afterwards, and she was like, "I've never had an easier time meeting men in my life."
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I was like, guys were just a dime a dozen. It's like you just cherry picked on who. It didn't matter. I had so much sex.
You are locked into the military.
That's right.
That dorm sex, man. We just, you could just set up trains and that. It was awesome.
So you're telling me? Do you think that had any influence on you eventually?
Leading you to get into the porn industry?
No, I've always been a very
product of the U.S. military.
I know. It really just took me there. No, I've always been a free spirit. I just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have to ask you this because the statute of limitations is over. Did you get your O card punched while you were enlisted? Who cares? You're not in. You haven't been in. Who cares?
Yes. So yes.
Oh, wait, an officer?
Yeah, you fucked an officer while you were enlisted.
Oh, did I? I fucked a lot of people.
Yeah? But you definitely had the enlisted covered.
I never kept a book.
Was it more likely they were staff on they were tanker guys? Was it more likely that they were tanker guys, or do you like security forces guys or finance people or anything like that?
It didn't really matter to me. I didn't really give a shit. I was just
in the dorms just with whatever the enlisted guys were.
It was good dick. It made me laugh. Let's see what you got. Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I ran.
It was a true story.
I wasn't looking for a life partner, so I didn't give a fuck what they did. I was just like, let's get it.
Again, around the fireplace, she's just telling a story while she's just fucking oiling up she's oiling up the AR-15. We're going hunting later. I just want to, just awesome.
Kind of building off that, I'm interested for all the ladies, what are 3 qualities you look for in a one-night stand versus a boyfriend?
Neither do I.
You're discussing about a boyfriend?
Yeah, I really don't even have one night stand. I mean, because of what I do for a living.
Like you said, you're
for what I do for a living, I'm going to require that person to be tested regardless if there's condoms or whatever involved. So there's one night stands don't really do it for me anymore. Maybe when I was younger, that's something else, but it's completely different now for me, at least. I don't know about everybody else.
One of the issues is the thing with Miguel is so as men will literally go out there planning to have sex with whoever, and then if it becomes a relationship or becomes a one-night stand, they think about it after. Women rarely go out there. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It certainly does happen. Well, women rarely go out there and be like, you know what I'm going to have tonight? A one-night stand. They're just not, they generally don't do that. What they'll do is they'll have a one-night stand with a man who checks a bunch of boxes and lights their fire, right? So they're sexually interested in the guy because they'll say, oh, you know what kind of guy you want? And they'll come on a show like mine and they'll say, he needs to be kind and he needs to be loving. He needs to open doors for me and be super fucking nice. And you meet the guy and he's fucking tatted up. He sells steroids. His name is Kyler.
He's got
long hair. You know what I'm saying? He's fucking you and doesn't remember your name.
Yes.
Nobody clip that, please. Don't clip that.
I won't remember his either.
Yeah, I won't remember his either. And they say one thing and then you find out that the one night stand has nothing to do with that. Yeah, it's exactly right. I literally saw one time I was at a party listening to a girl tell me ad nauseum she'd never been with hardly any dudes. She's makes guys wait 7 to dates to a month, and literally 45 minutes later went into a room and fucked a dude. I'd have never, and it's just in her mind, if you ask her the next day, pull her up to a polygraph, she didn't fuck him. like it didn't happen.
would pass.
Like she would pass the polygraph. She literally, in her mind, would believe she did not fuck that guy because it doesn't fit the narrative that she has a low body count and she doesn't hook up with dudes. So that's really interesting. Yeah, of course. Katie, you really don't think that you don't know girls that lie to the low side on their body count?
Well, like with a polygraph, like what?
I know. That's kind of.
You can,
everyone in my chat is crushing on you right now. By the way.
No, I don't. I really don't understand. Like, you literally just had sex with somebody. How do you not register that?
Because in order for you to admit that you had sex with somebody would require accountability. What do you mean? What is that lost on you? She doesn't. Some women don't feel any accountability for them doing that.
Okay, well then.
Yeah, but you still know you did it.
Yeah, what?
Again, they would pass a polygraph and be like, "I didn't do it."
That's so wild to me.
It
I
wasn't
don't
me.
understand.
Yes.
Oh, it was my alter ego.
Yes.
Is that what they're gonna say?
Wasn't me.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, no, it's your blue reality and your red reality.
It was the Xanax. I had an out of body experience.
Like dudes don't have women that don't count. Women have men that don't count. Women have men they don't count. On their fucking wedding night, the guy asks like, how many people you been with? There's like, yeah, Chris Brown back in fucking backstage giving a blowjob does not count. No matter what anyone says, it does not count. Like they will not admit that it counts. Like a lot of dudes just don't count. Like seriously, like the one night stand they had just doesn't count. Like that's it. I have too many friends that are females, and I know the ones that count and know the ones that don't
But
count.
then they change the rules, though. Like the CDC says, like a Hummer or a blowjob is like it should be a notch.
I mean,
You can keep your socks on.
you can keep your CDC stats all you want.
Through the roof now.
Girl math.
Yeah, girl math.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to adjust my notch count because
Isn't it
I didn't know
so,
that was
like,
the rule. I didn't know that was
this
the rule.
logic, so with this
I
logic,
stopped counting.
My
Yeah.
body count is going down one.
Yeah.
Right?
If an Indian man asks you for nudes, that's a body. That counts as a body. Your body count goes up.
I have an interesting question.
All right, Katie Moore. They want to make you their wife. They want to get you a green card.
There you go.
Got it. I really have an interesting question.
Yeah.
What is everybody's standard for what you think is cheating?
Well, that's good.
That's a good one. Let's do it.
Especially when we've already just gone through like what kind of monogamy or what kind of
For sure.
relationship. That's a good. Hold that thought for just a second. Let me see if I can tag something on here. Give you something to think about before you answer that question. Because the way we do marriage and the way we do relationships right now is way different than we used to do it in the 20th century, right? So what you're asking right here in a poly relationship, maybe even in your like we got two people in the industry today, with your situation, what would constitute cheating when you're already in an open relationship? But go ahead, Kate.
For me,
Yeah, you can answer your own question.
it really depends on the intention, I think. So sometimes if I'm with a guy and I see him kissing other girls, like that would be cheating. But it's really weird.
What if he's really fucked up?
Whatever.
That doesn't change? Or it doesn't change whether or not he's cheating?
Is it kissing or like what if it's a
Well,
hug
it's the
that's
intent.
held a beat
It's the
longer?
intention for me, I think. Like
It's so crazy.
Wait,
Yeah, no, keep
so-
going. Keep going. No, I
Yeah.
agree with. I believe that you believe it's the intention. I just for men it is not the intention.
I don't know.
For the
It's just like
intention, you mentioned kissing a girl. What about if you hooked up with a guy, but the intention wasn't there? Like you
That's
gave a girl
cheating.
example.
It's
okay.
okay. So it's still cheating. Okay, got it.
So it's not cheating if it's with a girl.
No, that's not what you're saying.
For example,
It depends. But it depends on the boundaries of the
No,
relationship.
she mentioned
Exactly.
if
Yeah,
she said it was an intention. Then she gave the example of kissing a
Sure.
girl. So I'm asking, is it just girls?
But I think
that don't count,
I
or
think the
guys
intention
as
of a
well?
guy kissing a girl.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
that's
what
what I
about a
meant.
guy? Yeah.
a guy kissing a girl. Like if I'm in a relationship and I'm out and I'm like drunk with my girlfriends and I kiss one of my friends, like I wouldn't consider that cheating. Or even like just a little peck with like a friend, I would not consider that cheating. But what makes it, I would say, inappropriate to me would be if I have expressed that I don't want you to be doing that, and then you do it.
Set boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. Boundaries, wherever your boundaries lie.
Got it. Let's start over here. Kylie, what do you consider cheating?
I mean, I think they just said it. I
That
think
you
she
agree
just
with
said-
that?
I just agree with what she just said.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just don't disrespect me publicly and
Is it intent?
yeah, respect boundaries. That is-
Absolutely.
yeah, I agree.
But how do you set the boundaries? Like, what are the boundaries?
We talk about it.
Yeah, you talk about
It's called communication and comprehension.
roll
So,
up in
what do you
relationships, two people-
but what do you talk about? Like, what's the, like, if you were to have that discussion with somebody, what would be like, okay,
If you
I
break
don't
these
want
boundaries,
it's okay
I'm
to
not
do
gonna
this,
be
but
here
it's
anymore.
not okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but it's okay to do this, but it's not okay to do this.
You could say like, what's
Sure.
too far for
Yeah,
you?
sure.
You know, like I'm comfortable with this,
Sometimes it
but
really
this puts
is
me at risk for
situational,
this,
though,
or this will hurt my feelings, etc.
Some things are not situational. Penetration, vaginal penetration
Well,
is
yeah,
not situational.
that's- I would say that
it does not require context. That doesn't. I mean, other than like sexual assault, it doesn't require context.
Say
Eating ain't
you-
cheating and sucking ain't fucking. Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
here?
what I'm trying to say is, let's say you have a history with some girl, right? And then she's going to be out of the club. And then I know that you used to have a history with her, and then I see you making out with her. I'm going to be pissed about it.
Yeah.
Because you think there's an emotional investment in it.
Yeah.
Women care more about that than men.
Yeah, of course.
No, and we can. I was going to get to that point, but yeah, that's definitely a big part of it. So when you talk about the intention, for men, for the most part, it is not the intention; it's the penetration. That is the cheating.
Yes.
It really doesn't make any difference. The rest of it, like I can tell you right now, they do surveys this on all the time. When they ask men and women what would bother you more as far as cheating is concerned, your boyfriend has like spent money on another woman and has an emotional connection but no sexual intercourse, or he has sexual intercourse with a woman he does not have any feelings for. And then they do the same thing with men. They ask, would you rather not the woman have spend money and have emotional tie to this guy, and have no sex, or have sex and have no emotional? And it's crazy for women. The
eye contact before marriage.
Yeah.
Just cheating.
The fucking
that was good.
For women, it's
good.
like 87% of the time the emotional cheating is way more deleterious. They hate it so much more. For men, it's 97% of the time a penis going inside of my woman is worse than anything else that could possibly happen. Because let's go back 50,000 years ago. The worst thing to happen to me is not death. The worst thing for me to happen is for me to not have a child with you and for me to raise someone else's child, not realizing that my genetics do not get passed along because you slept with someone else behind my back. There's nothing possibly from a genetic standpoint that is worse than cuckoldry. Nothing. And that's the reason why men they act jealous. And there's some really crazy studies on jealousy. Most of the time when men are jealous, do you want to know what the reality is? They're right. That's what ends up happening. Jealousy is an evolutionary adaptation. When you consistently suspect your girlfriend, you have this instinct of your girl cheating, you tend to be correct. It's crazy. Now, is it all the time?
No, that's projection.
No, but sometimes it is projection because they're doing it, but also a lot of times they are correct. I'm not. And by the way,
the reason you're feeling it.
I don't know one example of them being correct.
Let me
Let me try to think of one from previous friends.
Yeah, but maybe you're 21 years old.
Okay, knowing everybody else that I know, and I've never heard it not one time.
Okay, I can tell.
It doesn't make any
I can probably
sense,
tell you
though.
100 times where I've seen a guy who's like suspected a girl of cheating, and it turns out he was correct. Now, here's the thing: it's not over 50%.
It's a gut check. It's instinct.
But what I'm saying
Women
is,
have the same
Where's
thing.
Yeah, I feel like it goes
of course,
ways.
for sure.
Just feeling suspicious.
You just
For sure.
know.
But no, that's the thing. Jealousy is an evolutionary adaptation. It's not immaturity. And people say, well, it's insecurity. No.
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, that makes sense because if the goal is to survive long enough to pass on your genes, then the worst thing is to raise a child that's not yours because
Correct.
you didn't succeed where your goal as a animal is.
So the guys that were more suspicious and had the instinct for jealousy and mate guarding, those are the guys who went on to pass on their genes, and the guys who didn't, they didn't.
Yes. So there's a lot of nice guys throughout our evolutionary history that did not become our ancestors because they were super fucking nice and they were like, no,
And they're all pissed off at us in the chat right now.
Chad, I'm going to go off hunting over here with Rolo, and you go ahead and watch my wife. Watch my wife while I'm gone. I trust you, Chad. Like those guys didn't pass on their genes.
Brock, come on.
Yeah, Brock got to pass on his genes, and he was an asshole and did nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Kylan. Is that what you said?
No, Kyler. It's always a dude. There's always a dude named Kyler, and bro, stay away from Kyler.
Why do you have a foam cannon over there?
Yes.
What's that?
That's pretty crazy. But no, when I say proclivity to figure out cheating, it's not over 50%. Most of the time, they're not correct. What I'm saying is it's a statistically significant, high number of times when a man suggests or suspects that his girl's cheating on her, it's like more than 30% of the time. It's like a significant number. It's not over 50% of the time.
So I have another question. So a lot of couples, they go through each other's phones, right?
Yeah.
If you think you get to that point in a relationship, my personal opinion is if you have to go through somebody's phone, the relationship is already over.
Right. Yeah. You're gonna see what you want.
If you feel the need to be going through people's phones like that, just searching for stuff, like why are you in that relationship?
Yeah.
Like
I only done
like
for
if people actually
for
just
evidence.
talk to one another. And
Communication.
communication and comprehension, you need both because people can talk all they want, and if it's not being comprehended on the other end, it's
You
not
take
going
it the
anywhere.
wrong way, too,
It's
if you
just
just
a
see
one-way
it.
How many of you
conversation.
girls have gone through guys' phones, and how many guys have you caught going through your stuff?
I don't go through anybody's phone.
Is it- any ladies here caught a guy going through your phone?
Yeah, I have.
All of you have. Wow,
They
that's
block
crazy.
people on my Instagram.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, they block people on your Instagram. Yeah, I've noticed that. Whenever I
watch.
yeah.
They blocked the girls.
Because people were trying to tell me. They went in my phone and they blocked people who were trying to tell me.
Yeah, I did this.
You from talking to
That
guys.
too.
I've done this before where I can see who's blocked me or whatever because there's apps that'll show it. And I'll text the girls like, "Hey, your boyfriend got on your IG and blocked me," and they'll be like, "Oh my God, you're right. That's essentially what happened." Yeah, that happens a lot. That's really interesting.
I've had a guy read my journal. I've had a guy while I was in the shower go on my MacBook because your iMessage goes to there, and then I get out of the shower and he's like, "Who's this guy?" And I'm like, "I'm doing a school project with him. Like, chill."
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the other thing. Without
he uses ammo on that one, he's like, "Fuck, I only
I
have
wouldn't
one
be
of
able to
those
deal with
cards."
that.
That's the other thing. The conversations without context are always going to look worse, right? That's
Yeah,
always why it's also bad. Like if you look over someone's shoulder at their messages, you're just going to assume the worst. Whether just take the phone. Like honestly, like if Kylie wanted to go through my phone, she'd go through it anytime she wanted. I don't have any issue with that at all, ever.
Yeah, it's the sneakiness.
Yes.
Right.
I feel
like when you have to
Kylie
delete
would be
it.
bored.
Well, yeah,
Kylie would be bored with mine. Yeah.
If you,
it's copy and paste invites. Just 40,000
the
people.
intention to mislead you,
Exactly.
because the intention to mislead you is so they can, get to their ultimate goal. And if you had had a choice and knew everything up front,
Yes.
then you may not give them what they really want at the end.
Yeah, whereas
so
like,
it's the sneakiness and the intention
I'm like,
behind that.
whatever, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, go on my phone,
Yeah.
go text that person.
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
funny.
Like, I don't care.
So I asked Brad Lee, who was sitting over here.
School
we-
project.
We had him on the
Sure it is.
I had Brad on here, and I was asking Brad the same question, and I was like, Brad, you're pretty famous now. Like, do you have a lot of girls hitting you up? And he goes, I thought I didn't. And then my wife told me I did. I was like, how does your wife know? He goes, because my wife's on my Instagram. My wife controls my Instagram, and she can see everything. My wife has total access to my phone, and I have total access to hers. And then Brad goes, if your girl does not give you total access to your phone or the other way around, they're cheating. 100. You should just assume they're cheating. That's what Brad said. I was like, damn, bro, that's crazy.
So there's a girl that we both know that used to date one of our friends, and she was always like, "Oh, I have to meet a client. I'm doing investing." Da 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 da. And everybody that she had as client, whatever, in her phone, she was hooking up with all of them.
Yeah.
Like doing prostitution, and she was just saying she was making money from good investments. And
Yeah,
blah, blah,
school
blah.
project.
It is. She's
There's a lot of
investing.
girls like that.
She's investing her time.
Yeah.
That's what she was doing.
That's pretty common. I feel like a lot of people lie about that.
I'm
for
using
sure.
that from now
If you're
on.
hooking up with guys to make money, just be honest about
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah,
like
honesty is
it's
a
your
big
thing.
thing.
Like that's your job. Be
You know,
honest.
Because you're
about
putting
what's-
them at risk.
You know what's so crazy is this idea. So the red pill community is like men should hold themselves to a higher standard, and I agree with this concept, like these concepts. But the thing is, like, ladies, one of the reasons why is 99% of men are simps. Like, you guys can I don't give a fuck who gets mad when I say this. It is absolutely true. You guys can do porn. You guys can do whatever the fuck you want, and there will be dudes who want to date you.
still
It
go
is
for it.
no matter what. It'll be so many dudes. It's outrageous.
Biology
Now-
trumps
They wanna date
conviction.
you.
Now, will you want to date them? And will you want to date them long term? Maybe not. But there will always, there is no, anytime I hear these guys in the chat, they're like, man, no one will ever want you when you're 35 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bro, I see their DMs. It's not true, man. Dude, Muhammad from Bangalore, India, definitely wants to date her. 100% Muhammad wants to date her. Yeah, but it's one of these crazy things. Now, the problem happens though is you start to see the problems. Like, how did this guy fall through the cracks to where he wants to date me? Maybe there's something wrong with him, and then you find out there's something wrong. What do you consider cheating?
Something that's outside of your boundaries. So you could tell your partner, I'm okay with oral, but not penetration. And then if they cross that, that's cheating.
Does anybody here have ever had a relationship where there was some caveat like that?
Yeah.
I don't mind. You've had a situation
Yeah, I
like
actually
anybody
had
else?
that, and I was
You had
scared
a
of it.
relationship?
I have, yeah.
What is the caveat?
So first of all, it was space, like bringing another person into a space that we share. That was
Same
a
bedroom?
boundary. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Right.
a boundary that was crossed because my that's our.
Oh, I remember
thing.
this. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember you telling me the story.
And then the other thing was assuming that I was going to be okay with them bringing home another person. The girl needs, you need to initiate it. If you're going to hook up with multiple people, you guys know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If a guy that I'm seeing brings home a chick and just assumes, oh, this is whatever, and nice, you guys should get to know each other, and then we're all going to hook up later. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not how it works, honey.
Yeah, we got to do a podcast first.
Pat, what do you consider cheating?
I'm saying blowjobs and worse. I mean, seeing my girlfriend kiss somebody else, that would hurt my feelings.
What if she gets finger banged?
So aggressive.
There's a boundary. There's a boundary there.
What do you think? If I start kissing, I'll be hurt. What about finger bang?
So it must reach orgasm.
As long as it stays dry, then we're good.
So
As long as it stays dry. So if she gets finger banged but doesn't enjoy it, it's okay. Then it's not cheating.
I see.
So she has to climax for it to be cheating.
She's doing Kegels. Keep it dry.
That would work out well if you knew Kundalini, so you can like just hold on to that orgasm for a really long
Sounds like
time.
a pasta.
She's just edging for hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll make you a nice Kundalini.
Sarah
Tomato sauce and Alfredo. Yeah.
I am hungry, actually. I will.
Sarah Jesse, what's cheating?
Oh, I don't know. If no one comes.
If no one comes, it's not cheating? Hey, baby, I didn't enjoy it, though. So it's not cheating. I didn't enjoy it.
I don't even remember who it was.
I don't, listen, I didn't feel, hey, listen, I want you to know when I fucked that girl, I didn't feel any spiritual connection. There was, and our astrology signs weren't matching, so it doesn't count as cheating,
I
honey.
didn't charge my crystals before.
I didn't charge. You know what? Her chakra didn't even open up. It wasn't even cheating at all.
Do you think that
Trinity, but not my heart
Do you think that so if it's dry hump, if there's no orgasm involved, is that like the reason why I'm asking is because you know how we always talk about how like the hormones and the endocrinology that goes on. Like so if there's like a release of oxytocin after because that's a post orgasm hormone. Do you think it has something to do with the fact that there's a possibility of pair bonding because the guy
I think for women more so than men.
Yeah.
I think women would be more concerned about that than men. The thing is, like when women were asked,
there's a biochemical.
When women were asked about a man spending money on another woman or a man having sex with another woman he had no feelings for, women were far more concerned about the man she was with spending money on another woman. Like at every one of these studies,
resource
or money
ROI.
You're not going to
definitely
spend
be
money on a
opposite.
chick you don't want to.
I would definitely be opposite.
Yeah. So it's
You're not trying to, yeah.
That
No,
would
I
not-
don't think it's that deep. It's just like have a conversation, like what you were talking about
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
You know, what Kylie said before.
Is there such a thing as like an emotional infidelity?
Yes.
Yes.
Like emotional.
Like what she said about
affair?
if they had like a past with someone, like
Yeah.
they might be like still in love with that person. There can be like things that are.
I think that's a chick thing.
Oh.
I think
Yeah,
that's,
it
I think
is.
that's a chick thing.
Yeah, no, here's the thing. Here's the thing with a man
Emotional cheating,
for emotional infidelity.
Cheating.
It's not. It's just not that. It doesn't mean as much to us as men. Like if you don't sleep with them, then that's kind of the ultimate thing. Because we as men understand. Like if I have female friends and they do not want to validate a dude, like I talked to a girl last night who told me a dude bought her a house and like she's never slept with him, and I'm like the validation comes from women wanting to have sex, and if the dude is like. If the girl's like, yeah, I did all this stuff, but I never had sex with him. To me, it's like you just cucked him and you see him like a brother. It doesn't really bother us as men in those situations. So this emotional infidelity, I'm not saying it's not a real thing, but the thing is, you were talking about dry humping or whatever. Yeah. If a girl was like that interested in another dude and didn't cheat, you still should probably break up with her. Like at that point, because she doesn't have
it's desire.
This is it. You're not breaking up with her for cheating. You're not breaking up for cause. You're breaking up because it's just not a good fit.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, your genuine desire is pointed somewhere else. Your blowtorch is in a different direction. So it's the best thing for both of us to not be together. Yeah. If you're a
You
man,
don't want your girlfriend grinding up on some other dude. It's not a good look.
No, of course, that's a terrible look. My point is, in any case where she's just lost genuine desire, because so many men have like so few options, they just are still going to try to make things work. But if she's lost genuine desire, even if she hasn't cheated, you probably should move on. Like that's a serious problem.
Yeah, women check out before they actually.
Of course,
Right, yeah,
I
they're
totally
already
agree.
planning.
Yes,
Yeah.
Looking for the
100%.
next man.
So let me ask you this:
Swinging from one bench to the next.
should an emotional affair be grounds for divorce? Is that crossing a line? Is it a boundary cross?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Well, anybody. Like
I don't know if you could prove that in court. I think the women would.
Well, I
be
mean,
maybe
it's
more
not,
upset.
I mean, if you were the
Motivated.
judge, like, would that be grounds for divorce?
I don't know. I honestly don't think I've could answer that.
They never had sex,
It would
but
depend.
there's an emotional
If
investment.
you're having an emotional connection with somebody else, and that means you no longer have the emotional connection with your partner.
Yeah.
So now your relationship is lacking very fundamental things that you need in order to move forward and have a future together. So absolutely, if you have an emotional connection with somebody else, you do not need to be together.
See, the
You
reason,
have such a
agree
pretty
with that.
voice.
the reason I ask is because that's one of the most common reasons for, like, say, very religious Christian women to divorce their husbands.
believe
There's
that, yeah.
no infidelity. There's no actual sex happening, but maybe it's him and his work wife, right? Or him and somebody he used to know, like on, back in the day, and now they reconnected on like Facebook, and then maybe they're sexting, or maybe they're just like have some sort of, never, no sex is involved, but there's sort of that emotional investment. Or the guy is constantly jerking off to porn,
Yes,
and then,
that's huge.
but there's no sex on his side, but it's an emotional.
I lost a
thing.
relationship over that, actually.
I have a really interesting story.
Porn addiction.
That actually really like correlates to this. So this woman I've known for a lot of my life. She was on vacation where she grew up. So she lives where I live back home. She was running on the beach and she passed out from dehydration. She was not with her husband. She's been married to him for, let's say, 20 years. And she wakes up in the hospital and her high school sweetheart is there.
Oh.
And she told me that she genuinely thought about leaving her husband to be with this man because he showed up that one time being like, what if, you know what I mean? But her husband's been providing for her. They have kids together, blah, 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 blah. And she still had that thought, like, what if I could be with this guy?
But that's where
The one that got away.
The relationship doesn't exist because you never get tempted. The relationship exists because you get tempted and don't act on it.
Yeah.
That's the point. Your friends are not your friends because everything is good and you all make money together and everything's pleasurable. They're your friends when things go bad and they stick around.
Yeah.
Your business partners are not your business partner, not good business partners, because you keep making money all the time. They stick by you when you don't have a good month. They stick around. Those are actually the people you should be doing business with and trust. And again, if you're married, your marriage, the boundaries and the strength of your marriage is based on when things are bad, do you stay? Not when things are good, do you stay? It's when things are bad. That is the only indicator. Everything else is just superfluous. Like, again, I go out to nightclubs sometimes, and there are guys that I shake hands with that I would consider friends, they're buddies, but I don't want to do business with them. I would never leave them alone with my girlfriend. Like, I just don't trust these motherfuckers at all. Like, I was like, oh, a new crypto scheme you want me to do? Cool. Yeah, awesome. Let me buy into your...
It was just the consideration
Thanks,
of her
Kyler.
even thinking that she should leave her husband. Like, I would think that would be the end of the relationship.
I think it's okay to be curious to know like what else is out there. I mean, it's just a thought. I don't think
No,
it's different than like
a
acting
thought
on
is
that.
fine. A thought is fine.
I think it
That's not
shows
the
you might
issue.
not be like fully happy though.
Yeah.
There's like a problem
There's
in the
something
relationship.
lacking.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it
The
can't be like
beginning.
mended. I feel like because I feel like
Yeah.
cheating is a decision where there is penetration
Yeah.
and things like that. You take it like another step.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A thought versus action.
Yeah, but even like I don't know. I was just like, whoa! I can't believe you told me this. This is like really personal.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Almost a cry for help.
maybe.
Well, I was
yeah.
going to say,
Go on, your thoughts.
it's one thing to have the thought. It's another thing to verbalize it to someone else and say,
That's
what do you
what I'm
think about me?
saying.
I'm like,
Yeah.
am I crazy?
You're
I've been
really
thinking about this
pondering
for the
it.
last week.
Last year, 10
Really
years of
weighing
my
out the
life.
pros and cons. Got a whiteboard.
I mean, it
So
sounds like
here are
it's
the
kind of scared her
pros.
too.
We're at the
cons.
bottom of the hour. Let's do super chats real quick.
Okay, good. Let me do some real quick. I have a
And then
couple here.
I got to we can shift gears. I got something real good.
Okay, Siege D, evolutionary psychology equals certain psychology. I appreciate that. Also, Siege wrote me one. He says, has anyone read Thomas Sowell's book, Basic Economics, Economics, Facts, and Fallacies, and his latest social justice fallacies? No, but I will because I read everything. Do you have anything you want to read?
Oh, I do. Yeah. Siege D, thank you very much. Trying to get my brother to read The Rational Male. He's resonating with 12 Rules for Life. See it as a stepping stone, already seeing improvements. Good for you.
Nice.
Let's see.
Yeah, personal development, the best investment you can make in
Our-
yourself.
yes,
So highly
yes,
recommend books,
absolutely.
mentoring programs.
Are
Spend
Robert
hundreds
A.
of
Glover
thousands of
and
dollars
Sean
on
T. Smith's books a good read? FYI, I know Sean T. or Robert Glover's is kind of dated stuff. Didn't even know Smith had a book yet. FYI, I'm aware of both and their continued association. Okay. And then you got that same one, and let's see, I got that one too. And the last one I have is
One from...
I've got a good one here. This is a $20 one. Thank you. Rational Trucker. Besides guys not passing on their genes, would we also get angry over her cheating because we often risk our lives to provide for offspring that aren't ours? My job is the 7th most dangerous profession in the world. I would say so. Would you concur with that?
Say it again.
Okay.
My girlfriend brought me coffee. I was very happy.
Besides guys not passing on their genes, could we also say that men get angry over her cheating because we often risk our lives to provide for offspring that aren't ours?
Well, so the thing is, we know that as men, there's nothing. I think Dr. Buss was talking about like 86% or a significant amount of murders come down to men killing other men over women, or access to women, or access to resources that allow them access to women.
Wow.
And so when you come to that realization, then you understand that, yes, of course, the worst thing that could happen to us from a genetic standpoint is for us to be cuckolded. So that makes all the motivation make sense and all the jealousy makes sense. And so this is a part that a lot of behavioral psychologists and extremely woke people who live in like gender studies arenas believe is that jealousy is some immaturity. No, it is an adaptation created through evolution. And other animals exhibit it as well. And the reason why it exists, anything that is pervasive amongst Homo sapiens must exist somewhere in evolution. So that had some purpose. Regardless of how immature you may think it is, it did have some purpose. Alexis, you said this before, like you would date a guy and he would have a problem with the fact that you were filming. But like you can see rationally how some men would have a problem with that, correct?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're all different people. Some people are going to be able to handle it and some aren't.
Yes.
Some are going to have more insecurities or whatever issues they're going to bring into that relationship. All that stuff needs to be, spoken about.
So I think the issue is if he comes into the relationship and he says he's cool with it. Yes, I get to date Alexis
If you say you're cool with it and then
and then he's like, I want you to get out of the industry. That's what you think is bullshit.
Yeah, it's total bullshit.
But if a guy doesn't want to date you because you do adult work, that doesn't seem that strange
I don't need
to
to date him either.
For sure.
Exactly.
And
I'm fine with that.
And you don't take it personal either,
Oh,
right?
I don't take any of that
What I'm saying
personally.
is you see how it can be rational for a man to not want to date someone who does that for work.
It could be rational for a woman not to date a man that, wants to tell her what to do with her career.
Right. Oh, for sure. Totally
So
agree.
it could go both ways, and there's also men in the industry too. So women may not want to work with or want to marry a man in the industry as well.
For sure.
I think like all in all, it's not always down to gender with that. I think it's just going to really depend on the person, where they're coming from, what they've gone through life, where they are at in life.
Yes.
And
the connection that you have.
And the
with
connection
them,
they
right?
have. And I don't take any of that I don't take offense to any of that bullshit.
Can I ask the two of you, Sarah and Alexis, what you think about, since they've left the industry, what Lana Rhoades and Mia Khalifa had said about the industry? What do you guys think about that?
That's on them.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. I don't really care what other people are doing. I mind my own business and stay hydrated. I really do.
Pedialyte.
I really do. I drink a lot. I do.
Alexis, what's your podcast?
It's called The Highest Fox
Porn
Show.
Stars and Pedialyte.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I need to get famous so I can get on that show. That
I know what I'm talking about.
sounds like a funny fucking show.
We have a great fucking show. Yeah, we sit around and we have a good time and talk. But yeah.
I have an interesting question for you guys that are in the industry. If you were dating a guy that was also in the industry, and I know that males, like specifically, are their income is going to come from a lot of gay sex work. So, is that like a boundary for you?
Except for Sterling Cooper.
Not all men in the industry get their money from gay scenes. Not all, there's some that do gay scenes. There's some that do bi scenes. There's some that start out that way and then switch into straight scenes. It varies, but not every male porn star or male actor starts out with doing gay scenes.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is that I don't know.
I look at it as work because I'm going in and doing the same stuff too. Mm-hmm. So they're going in. Everybody I guess I think what people don't understand or really don't conceptualize is that everybody that's showing up to set is getting paid. That guy, no matter how excited he is to fuck me that day, he's more excited to get that paycheck to spend it any which way he wants.
Oh, you're selling yourself short, honey. You're selling yourself short. I'll bet you a couple guys were super excited.
I get paid?
I get paid after this? This is incredible.
Most of the time you forget
What's this
who
for?
you worked with. You'll get on set and be like, oh, we worked together before? Like, I forgot. You know what I mean?
I worked, after 13 and a half years,
love what you
I've worked with
do.
a lot of people.
You forget who you worked with.
And we've had a lot of crossovers.
You remember him by the dick? Oh!
They're like, oh yeah,
I'm gonna see you again.
Yeah.
How are the kids?
For me personally, that's not something I think about or a boundary for me. But it's also okay if that is. Like, I can only speak from my own personal journey and from where I am today. But it's gonna happen. I don't think twice about it.
Yeah, it just depends on the person.
Do you believe there's an epidemic of men being addicted to pornography, where it becomes debilitating?
I think you can be addicted to anything, and that can be debilitating. As social media is one of them. I think a lot more people are just scrolling aimlessly for no reason. I think anything you do that's stopping you from living your life, you should seek therapy.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
And that can lead from any which way.
If your escape life is better than your shitty real life,
yeah, it's true. And think about with AI and these.
I just bought a submarine on Grand Theft Auto, so I don't know. My escape life is pretty fucking cool. But then again, look at my girlfriend. So like, fuck the submarine, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
True.
So, men, what do you think about men not liking to go to therapy?
Oh.
Well, so the problem is what's happened to therapy. So if you're asking me, the problem is what's happened to therapy. I got an
answer, but you go first.
So the issue is it's under the age of 30, only 5% of therapists are men. And I believe what's happened is therapy has become a way to transpose, in some ways, woke ideology to men. It is terrible. I don't give a fuck. Please come on my show so I can fucking embarrass you. Anyone who disagrees with me about this concept of men being more vulnerable in the beginning of a relationship is fucking bullshit, and it is bad game. And if a therapist is telling you to do this, stop listening. Therapists who go after Jonah Hill saying that his behavior was controlling when he's like, hey, you're a beautiful person. And you're incredible, and you're smart, and I love all these things about you. And if you want to spend all your time with these other people, he goes, I support that. But maybe we're not right for each other. And that was controlling. Fuck therapy. If that's what therapy is, fuck therapy. Now, the thing is, there are some really good therapists out there, but for me, I would have to find someone who's kind of in the same cohort as me, either prior military or even like a girl who understands like the scene, or something that can, somebody who can kind of understand my ideology. Because I will tell you, there's a very big difference between a guy just living his life being 46 and a dude with testosterone over 1100 who's 46. Like, it's a very fucking different existence.
Can confirm.
And I would need to know that the person that I have as a therapist is not going to. I've heard horror stories from guys going to therapy and they're being judged by their therapist. It's like, you're dating multiple women at once. It's because you're a narcissist. That's why you're doing. It's like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, that's what I'm talking about, right? You have, as a man, there's a period in your life if you want to date multiple women, you can. And there's a period of life if you want to settle down, you can. And you shouldn't be guilted for not wanting to do one thing or the other. So what I found is that therapy tends to be more like every instance that I've heard of, it tends to be more like the feminization of men. And so that's the reason why I think a lot of men are complaining. What do you think, Rob?
Okay, so here's my deal. Just to tag on what he was saying is that the way we do psychology right now, the way we do therapy is all, it begins and ends from the female experience. The reason why guys are supposed to go to therapy in the first place is to get in touch with their feelings and to be more vulnerable. And we can run down this laundry list of like, this is what you ought to do. And all of that, at the bottom of that list, the equation reads out to be more like a woman. That's what it comes to. Emote like a woman, talk like a woman, communicate like a woman, experience life like a woman. Everything else goes along. And the problem we have with this is because we don't understand today that men and women are different. And we are fundamentally, biologically, neurologically, endocrinology, in so many different ways, right down to the cellular level. Men and women are different. Our brains are, and I can show you the fMRI studies of these. Our brains are literally wired differently. So just because he didn't cry at the end of Titanic doesn't mean he's emotionally fucking stunted. Okay, he might cry at the end of Saving Private Ryan, but he's not going to. He's not going to cry when Rose drops the fucking heart of the sea down to the bottom of the ocean.
Because it was stupid. She could have let fucking Leonardo DiCaprio on the goddamn piece of plank. I mean, it was so dumb. You could see it. It was like right there. Just let him up on the motherfucker. Selfish ass mother.
What I hear though from the reason why I hear like you people ask this all the time, like, I think that a lot of women think that therapy is in some way like makes the guy more attractive, and so guys go, "Oh, okay, I'll go to therapy. I'll out therapy all my competition, my intersexual competition, and so therefore I will, I'm going to be the most therapeutic. I'm going to be the most female identifying, the most emotive." And the problem with that is men, when they get into that state, it feels unnatural to them. So when women talk with other women and communicate with other women, they are doing so from the female experience. And the problem is we still think in terms of blank slate. We think men and women are just the same. So what works for a woman in our wonderfully correct female society and female correctness should theoretically work
Also
for a
work for men,
guy.
yeah.
And then guys are just like, screw it. I'm going to go gun down. I'm going to express myself with an AK-47. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it comes down
So
to.
what is-
He's expressing his emotions. It's just with an assault weapon.
So what does male therapy look like?
I think male
I can tell
therapy.
you.
I think
Doing
male
push-ups.
I think male therapy is called being a performance coach.
The
I think
squat rack is what it looks like.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think-
Why, but why can that not be
What
female
is
therapy?
I
Why
use
can't
exercise
that
as
be
therapy.
female therapy?
Oh, I don't. Well, I think it can be female.
It can be,
therapy.
but
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
any reason
so
why it
here's,
can't
so
be.
let me see if I can answer that a little bit, because I was actually talking about this today. When guys help other guys, it's usually because there's a project involved. The best conversations I've ever had with my brother have been about my brother reconditions and sells like auctions, classic muscle cars and classic cars at like Barrett Jackson and ESPN stuff. And so the best conversations I've ever had with him is like working on a carburetor. Like we're doing something.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
fishing.
Agreed.
There's something that's happening. Like there's a project that's going on, and it's an excuse to get there. And you're focusing on something. And so once your brain is sort of like in the deductive problem solving mode, that's when we have the best conversations. For women, it's like, let's go to Starbucks and catch up. It's the actual conversation
Yes.
that is enjoyable. Where
Yeah.
for guys, it's let's solve a problem together. And
progress
if
towards
and
achievement.
in doing so, we're going to be teamwork. We're going to form a tribe. We're going to have some. That's the kind of therapy that guys really need. And that's, unfortunately, we in this society, in this day and age, we try to atomize men and isolate them. So when a guy goes through a divorce or something like that, he is like on his own. Whereas for women, they do better after a divorce because they have all these social networks, because they've always done that, and they can't understand why that guy feels like he's suicidal right after a marriage or getting zeroed out, because none of his guy friends, they're all atomized too, and they're all isolated on top of that. So getting together and going and doing things, and then saying, hey, Jerry really needs a support group, so let's start let's go down to the Starbucks and have a talk with them. That sounds like something that bitches would do. It doesn't sound like hey, let's go to the gym, or let's go fishing, or let's go have a dude's trip somewhere and do something. I don't know, whatever you go to the gun range. I don't care what it is. Do something that you all enjoy together, and through doing that, you will have those conversations, and that's how guys connect.
But it's not much
Well,
different than
Jessica,
girls,
you had something you want to say?
Yeah, so
Talking on the mic.
therapy like that is, I think, generalized, but I think there's deeper problems and there's deeper rooted things that people have to work through, whether men or women.
So if we're dealing with somebody who is psychotic and they go to a psychiatrist, then I agree with you.
Yeah.
so talk
I agree with you.
childhood trauma, sexual trauma,
Sure.
abandonment,
For sure.
generational trauma.
children dying.
Of course.
There's things like that people really, men and women, do need to talk to somebody that can help guide them on a path for healing. Otherwise, they're going to come up with blocks in their life, right? Like mental blocks, and they're not going to be able to move forward or push through it without direction.
Yes. The difference is, I think there's a lot of men who have those mental blocks who go to Marine Corps boot camp or go to the gym, and then the mental blocks go away. That's the difference. There's a lot of these guys who have these blocks, and then all of a sudden they become successful, and a lot of the blocks go away. I'm not saying therapy is unnecessary. I'm just saying the way it's used for men is incorrect. They're taking the tool that they use for women, and then they're applying the same tool to the male psyche, not admitting that the male psyche is different from the female psyche. Sure. Again, a male therapist is called a performance coach. A male therapist is called a personal trainer. A male therapist is called an offensive coordinator. That's what a male therapist is. Okay, a male personally, a male therapist to me is Andrew Huberman and Lex Friedman. A male therapist is somebody like that, who's
your martial arts instructor.
For sure. Whenever I have conversations with like Myron Gaines or Justin Waller or whatever, when we're talking about business and accomplishing a goal, we all light up. Everyone at the table stops what they're doing. We light up because there's a goal that is going to be accomplished. And like I could just like literally feel like my ancestors' genetics being like, let's fucking let's work together. You come from this angle, I'm going to come from this angle. We're going to kill this goddamn elephant.
Right,
like we're going to work together. No, it's not just conquerors. The teamwork. It's like watching
solving problems.
It's like it's like watching the '87 Lakers, just like run like the Showtime Lakers, like watching them teamwork up the court, just throwing the ball. Watching Jerry Rice and Joe Montana teamwork,
building
like watching
things collectively.
Correct.
Yes.
Like watching that teamwork, watching Stockton Malone, those things like that. We admire so much as men working together to accomplish the goal and accomplishing that goal, defeating another group of men. You'd think that would exist somewhere in our ancestral past, and you look at our ancestral past, and that's all it was. Because there are no more Neanderthals. You guys wonder what happened to them? We fucking ate them and outbred them. There are no more there's no Australopithecus, there's no Homo habilis, there's no Homo australis. There were 15 breeds, there are 15 species of hominids on this planet,
hairless
and now there's one.
Murder ape.
There's just this hairless murder ape called Homo sapiens sapiens is the only one left. We've been around for 200,000 years, and we killed all the other ones because we competed with other we joined bands of other Homo sapiens to kill the other bands of whatever. The leopards that lived over here or the Homo habilis that lived over here.
The chat is in rare form today. I just got the little elephant emoji and an L.
Elephant took the L.
So the answer is basically be like Michael.
No, definitely not Ben.
No, but I will say this
Go do push-ups.
I think that if we're ever going to have any kind of like effective male therapy, it has to take into account the male experience as something that is separate and set apart from the female experience, because that's where we get into trouble with so many things, and not just therapy.
Because I've had so many male friends tell me like, I don't want to go to therapy, like that stuff. Like I don't
there's a
believe in
stigma
that.
around it.
Oh, I would love to go to therapy if there was a therapist who I believe could keep up with me.
Yeah.
Like I think, like I have accomplished things in my life. Have you? And you're going to tell me that I need to do these things. Well, hold on now. I have a family that depends on me. Are you sure when you say these things that what I'm doing is unhealthy? Tom Sosnoff is one of the most successful guys I know. The guy's a billionaire. He's like, you know what vacation is? I don't. I haven't taken one in 25 years. I work 7 days a week and I fucking love it. I don't ever not want to work, and I have billions of dollars and my family is set up for life and I'm happier than shit. That's some people that they're just built like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so is a therapist going to grasp that? Or is the therapist going to go and get a liberal arts degree or get a degree in psychology, right? And a soft science of psychology. And then when they do so, like you bring up, well, evolutionary psychology said this, and they think that's hokum because they believe in B.F. Skinner rather than David Buss. And they sit there and they start giving you all these ideas based on things that they theorize that they believe are healthy. But and then they completely ignore the fact that we are hairless murder apes. Now, you have to take that into I want a therapist who takes that into account. And if they can't do that, then I just don't want that person to be a therapist. Now, if you give me a business coach, yes, I'll take that. I'll sit here and listen to Neil Patel talk about how much he works, or I'll talk to Ryan Panetta about how much he works, or Dan Bilzerian, or Ty Lopez, or any of these people. I look at their lives and I'm like, yeah, I want some of that. I want a tenth of that. I want 100th of that. I'll be rich beyond my wildest dreams if I had that. I wouldn't have so fewer things to worry about. And his son Ike could go to any college in the world without question, and I would have no question about, you want to go to Oxford and then go get a PhD from Harvard? I'll pay for it. No problem whatsoever. That's the life I want. And so when that's the case, that's no therapist is going to tell me that's unhealthy. That's my issue.
Yeah,
I have to understand my burden of
But
performance.
you're trying to hide, cover up all your problems with money.
No. But I
Well,
need.
then where's your therapy?
The therapy would be the concept of.
No, you're just shoving it down to.
No. You still deal with the problems. My point is, if the therapist doesn't have any regard for the fact of forget money, performance.
Well, that's what you were just saying, though. So how are you dealing with the problems? You're just covering them up to go to work. So you're getting your mind off of it by distracting yourself from something else.
So let me provide.
Where are you?
Got it. So let me
where's the therapy?
See, what you're talking about is deferral.
Yeah, beautiful.
So that's male therapy. Just don't handle the
No.
problem,
It's
just
not.
cover it
But what you're talking about is called deferral. But what he's
that's what
talking
we're
about
talking
is.
All right, so let me provide more context. Yes, still with the therapy, the things dealing with approval from your father, and those things are still real, but you must also acknowledge the burden of performance that men have that women don't have. What I'm saying is there's several different boxes to check, 10 boxes. I only talked about one of the boxes, which is my burden of performance as a man. If I have a therapist who cannot recognize the burden of performance because they have a salary job where they don't make more money because they work harder, then I can't go to that therapist. It doesn't mean that he's like, hey, this issue that you're having has to do with passive aggressive behavior or whatever. You're suffering from psychosis or whatever. There's still secondary issues a therapist can deal with, but the minimum requirement is they must must recognize that I am a man who has to deal with performance. If they don't do that, then I can't go to them as a therapist. Does that make sense? It's just the minimum requirement.
What is the difference between a mentor and a therapist for you? Because it sounds like you're expecting a therapist to be like a mentor. That's the way I perceive it.
Yeah.
It can be both.
Yeah, you are saying that.
I don't think they're the same thing in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I think he's saying as a man, that's trying to like, this conversation highlights the difference where for us, all the men have agreed that for us, our therapy would be making progress towards an achievement, and that would be therapeutic for us. Then all the girls don't agree, and I think that highlights the difference between the men and women of what we consider kind of therapy for us and making improvements.
Go ahead.
A good therapist isn't someone that's going to tell you what to do or tell you that you're wrong or tell you to be this way or you're a narcissist, you're this, you're that, you're this. It's to help you learn how to work out the problem for yourself.
Beautiful. Correct. So when I go on TikTok and I look at the most popular therapists, you know what I see? People telling me that I'm wrong. People telling me that we're toxic.
That's not real therapy.
I agree. I understand what you're saying. But when they get 750,000 likes, do you know what other therapists start doing? They start following that. This idea that therapy is not being pushed in that direction, you're being naive.
So
it is being pushed in that direction.
Mentors do the same
absolutely,
thing,
sure.
Mentors are the only reason I would say mentors are different. I would say mentors are different simply because you're there to learn something. Like you are the apprentice and they are the master at something. So you're there to learn something in particular.
Yeah. The other thing is I have people that are mentors when it comes to business, and then they'll ask me questions about like emotional stuff. Like, so I don't think mentoring and therapy are the same thing. If I have a mentor who's teaching me literally how to code in fucking Python to build something, that has nothing to do with my emotional state whatsoever.
Kylie. So let me just say, for sake of argument, okay, if I was your therapist or I was some psychologist, a clinical psychologist, that you came to me and you said, I'm having trouble with sorting out my emotions and my feelings and everything, and I went, go fucking take a lap. Go lift heavier weights, right? If I told you something like that, that was my therapy for you to go get in the squat rack, bitch. If I were to say something like stop being a little pussy and go and take another lap and do all that stuff, if that was therapy, would that be therapy to you for your problem? No, probably. It probably wouldn't be.
With the problem. That's distracting yourself from the problem, so you don't have to
but if the solution to your problem, if there's one solution to your problem, it's going to come differently from a guy than it's going to be from a woman, because we have to have two different ways of approaching those things.
I like going to the gym because I find it therapeutic as well for anger issues, so I don't go around punching people and end up in jail. Like, that's great.
Right. So would you say in that case? So you're dealing with emotions then?
But what she's saying, like, you have children who aren't going to go, that are 10 years old, males that aren't going to go to the gym to deal with or whatever. Even if whenever they get older, you're asking them to go I'm sorry that your uncle did things to you when you were a child.
Right.
Go to the squat rack, dude.
Much different.
You're a dude.
Yes.
Just go to the squat rack. Like, no, that's not actually how you deal with that problem.
Yeah. So there's a difference between therapy and going for like.
Therapists can be good for males as well.
Well,
so this idea that it's just a terrible idea is wrong.
You're going to treat bipolar disorder, and you're going to treat actual clinical psychosis in a much different way than just like therapy, like something happened, a crisis in my life.
I'm depressed right now because I have no gratitude is different from clinical psychosis. Those are two different things.
And a lot of people nowadays don't know the difference between just having like a sad day, bad day, being sad, and actually being depressed.
Correct.
Yes. It's like whenever I do like personal counseling, like one-on-one counseling, I have a list of policies. I'm very, very specific about that. And one article in there is I reserve the right to refer you to a clinical, somebody who actually has a degree in this. You can come to me. I will give you an analysis of what I see going on with you. But I am not a doctor. I'm no play one on the internet, and I am not a licensed clinical therapist. But if you want my take on I will analyze your situation. But if this guy says, yeah, I clinically have autism or something like that, I'm going to go, well, I'm not the guy you need to talk to. You need to talk to a professional who deals with autistic problems.
And that's respectable that you acknowledge that and that you're aware of that.
Yeah, but that guy needs psychiatry. He needs but it's different from the therapy you're referring to.
Yeah, I can't prescribe Adderall
a psychiatrist has an MD. Like what you're referring to is somebody who has a licensed therapist who doesn't even have a bachelor's degree. Like we're talking about something completely different. Yes, correct. Like a counselor, for sure. And those people are necessary, and I totally understand them. And I wish we had more of them in the U.S. military because people committed suicide a lot in the U.S. military. I totally understand that. But my point is, what's happened is there needs to be what he's saying, because there's been some massive extrapolation here. We're not saying therapy is garbage. We're saying a therapist who is going to be useful to a man must recognize a man is different and must recognize the real world that men live in, where we are regarded based on our performance, no matter how special our mommy tells us we are. Okay? That's the issue. And because there's so little of that, telling men you're depressed because you lost your job, it's because you fucking sucked at your job, bro. That's what they actually need to hear.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's not the, if the therapist was like, no, we need to deal with your feelings, it's like, but that's not going to fix the fact that he still lives in a world as a man where he will never find someone to date or have any status amongst his friends unless he performs. We as men must perform and never forget that. And when we do, if we have a therapist who does not recognize that, it's not a good therapist for us. And what I'm saying is a lot of therapists for females don't see that same burden, and therefore they don't give the right advice. Pat, did you want to say something?
They don't have to perform. No, I feel like psychedelic can be my male therapy. Maybe air it all out with a stripper or something like that. But I don't get a lot of response.
After.
It's like one directional to where you can just kind of let it out. That's like my male therapy. I just feel like going to a therapist, it does feel very insulting and like you're wrong.
You're not feeling the way that you should feel.
You need to.
But I get what the lady's saying. I think to understand us better, we're saying if you do have trauma, then it definitely is good to go to a therapist. If you have childhood trauma or something traumatic happened to you.
I'm surprised at how deep this conversation is.
I know, right? It was just a throwaway question.
Why don't guys believe in therapy?
That'd be great.
I think I speak for a lot of guys. I'll definitely speak for myself. But like, if you have trauma, if you have trauma, then get therapy. But outside of trauma, if you're sad because you lost your job, or as a man, if you're sad outside than trauma, it's usually something in your control, and it's because you're not performing to your full capabilities. So whenever I felt a little bit down, I always reanalyze my goals, because usually I'm pretty happy all the time. But if I am feeling like down or anything like that, it's usually I might not have a goal that I'm focused on. I might not.
So what Sartain is telling you is that most of men's problems are performance-related issues.
Yeah, sorry, that's what you want to hear.
But I'm big for
this never happened.
It's never happened before.
Honestly, a lot of what happened in childhood trauma is what holds people back today. Because as a child, you can't really interpret the situation, so you give it more weight than it should.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a therapy landmark. Actually, I did that. It's called your ACT.
Yes,
so something happened to you as a child, and you created a defense mechanism. Then you overuse that later on. So it's kind of like, it's not a bad thing or a good thing. But if you use a hammer for everything, that's not the ideal tool.
Yeah.
So like one lady mentioned when she was a little girl, she wanted to play with her little sisters. They gave her the Indian burns, and she couldn't understand why people so close to her would hurt her. So then for the rest of her life, that was her act. Whenever someone got close to me, I would push them away. So if you go to therapy to resolve something like that, I think you make huge strides in your life. But for outside of trauma, for a man, the best therapy for a man that got dumped, lost a job, etc., is take control.
Quit being a bitch.
And a good way to take control is to set a goal and make progress on that and see that visual.
It's like if you don't do that, you're not useful to yourself and you're not useful to the world.
Yes. Right.
And like I just keep expressing this to guys, and I will never stop expressing this. We as men, our usefulness to the world is how our status is based. Our competency, our relevancy, our access to scarce resources, our intellect, our ability to network with other people. That is why people want to be around us. It is not because we're a fucking special snowflake.
Just because you're special does not make you useful.
And if you want to learn how to do these things, join MOA.
What's that? What's MOA? I don't even know what that is.
And use my link. It's the first one.
We'll put the description in the link.
Use his link.
Description.
Yes. Awesome. Hey, let me read a couple of super chats here. Mark Fissel. What's up, Mark? Nobody has more context about your life than yourself. Talking to a therapist for hours won't solve your problems. And then I have Intel Wild. He said this again. Rollo, please unblock me from your channel, Godfather. Intel Wild says this.
Jesus, man.
I get a little.
I don't mod all of my channels. I got one from XL Self. This is good. This is a quote. Look but don't touch. Touch but don't taste. Taste but don't swallow. John Milton.
That's funny.
From The Devil's Advocate, by the way. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Nice.
So we're at the top of 10 right now. I do have to make an announcement.
Okay, what's the announcement?
So here's a special announcement that you've all been waiting for. I have finally confirmed that I am actually going to be going to Kenya. on the end of November. I'm going with a good friend of mine. His name is Andrew Kibe. We're arranging a Kenyan tour so I can meet my Kenyan fans. Oddly enough, I have a lot of fans that are in Eastern Africa. So I'll be going to Nairobi by way of Dubai. So I'll be in Dubai for 2 days, and then I will be going to Kenya for about 10 days. So I'll be back probably about the 7th or 8th of December. So somewhere around like Thanksgiving. So everybody in Kenya has been asking me to do this for a very long time, and now we're making it a reality. So there's your special announcement.
Congratulations. That sounds really exciting.
I'm going on safari. Yes. I want to see a hyena.
I'm excited. We'll do the live stream over.
We should.
Zoom.
We
so
should
I'll
do it.
I'll host Access Vegas, and then we'll have you on Zoom there.
Like a giraffe.
Yes.
Bro, there's a leopard behind you. Bro, move. Get up. Yes. Fucking move, bro.
I know. They drape me with kente cloth and everything, and Hotep Jesus will be up in the grill.
It is one of the things where this society is so multicultural, and like there's no racial boundary whatsoever when it comes to manosphere, red pill stuff. Like none. Like absolutely none.
Yeah, I want to also point out the fact that I am going to Kenya because there is a very strong red pill group, or red pill, following there. There's also a very strong following for me, anyways, in Turkey as well. I can think of some other people in South Africa. It's not just localized, and so let me just throw this out there to no one in particular. The red pill's not dying by any stretch of the imagination. It's only in your very weak Twitch-inspired worlds that it is, and you can talk about it all.
He was banned from Twitch.
Oh yeah,
he was banned from Twitch.
Sorry, my bad. Well, but anyways, as far as people, because if you go on YouTube right now and you type in red pill in the search, it will be like the red pill's dead. Fuck the red pill. This, that. It's all these very, very negative stories and everything. I'm like, the red pill doesn't begin and end with Rollo Tomasi. The red pill doesn't begin and end in the United States either. So either start becoming a little bit more aware of what's going on as far as like male self-improvement, MOA, that kind of stuff. Be more aware of that before you start mouthing off, and you'll do a lot better.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who's never even heard of the red pill?
Yeah, see, good. That's the correct answer.
It was recent for me when I started going on these podcasts, and it's really interesting. And you start to like learn all the things about it.
So I need to do a deep dive.
Have you seen The Matrix? Like that's what you would like think it's like, but like there's actually,
it's a euphemism. Yes, it's an allegory. It's a metaphor.
Wake up.
It's a hyperbole. Yes.
But I think it's good for guys to know, because it's kind of like that Drake line where you rather be aware than humble. Like it's good for guys to be aware that the Disney, how Disney presents relationships at work isn't reality. So a lot of guys, I feel like nice guys are worse than the assholes because they're only being nice because they want something out of it.
I'm looking at the chat right now. By the way,
nice.
guys in the chat, yes, I will be going to Turkey as well. I'm very good friends with Dr. Oz, so that's going to probably be in the works for 2024 as well.
Oh yeah,
Istanbul.
Awesome. You know what? I like a question you asked last time.
I've got a good one right here.
Go ahead. What's the question?
I want to ask the ladies, have you guys ever cheated on a guy to get back at another guy?
Jessica, cheated.
Have you ever maliciously cheated?
Let's lower the bar.
Okay.
You went on a date, messed around, soft launch, something to get back at another dude. Did anything petty like that? Have you never done anything petty to like a dude you used to talk to or whatever?
Oh yeah, way back in the day.
Okay, so what'd you do?
The when, where, how.
What toxic thing did you do?
This was way back when my ex was overseas doing a tour with the Army, and he would constantly call accusing me of cheating. And at one point,
he was fucking a guy in his unit.
Well, no, but at one point, I'm like, look, if I'm going to get punished for it anyway, I might as well fucking do it. It's going to be your best friend.
So did you do it?
And I told him.
But
And
did
you
you do
did
it?
it? Fuck yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize you did it.
And then you got put on the billboard.
Yes.
So that would
So you hooked up-
that's a 10 out of 10 on the Petty Olympics right there.
What was the punishment?
What happened when you got hot?
Because you said if I'm going to be punished for it, I might as well do it. So what was the
so he was
punishment?
overseas, right? So it was always like just calling and badgering and blaming and like.
That's a self-fulfilling prophecy right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got it. Ever happened, Alexis? You get some pettiness?
Of course, I've been petty. I mean, not anymore, but definitely when I was younger, of course. Did the best friend thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's a common thing.
Was it in the military? It was in the military.
Oh, it definitely was.
Okay.
Yeah. Nick and Chris.
Nick and Chris are watching out. You guys, guys want to super chat,
Sold out.
If you guys want to super chat right now, Lieutenant Nick and Colonel Chris, if you guys want to.
Yes, and Kyler.
And I do a lot of cheating, obviously, and petty stuff in my films. So.
For the kink.
Yeah, for the kink.
Is there anything, on a side note, is there anything that you get requested wise that surprises you? Right, so like there's a book, was it not Dataclysm or what is the Everyone Lies? I can't remember what it is, but it goes over the fact that the incredibly pervasive number of people that want to see stepbrother, stepsister porn is outrageous. Like I had no idea.
Outrageous.
Okay, so anything like that, is there anything you've seen that kind of blows you away?
I think I get blown away when they don't ask me to do like really fetishy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I've been in the industry for over 13 years now, so I'm not really I don't know. It would have.
We just want you to do a basic boy-girl scene.
Yeah. What? Like, and there's a bed involved?
Like
what
how?
the fuck?
How do we do this?
I don't have to do a handstand.
Someone needs to send me SOPs for this. I don't know how to do this normal bed sex.
I remember back in the day, we'd get a script, and they always give you like pictures of how they want you the scene to go down in positions, and I would be actually in the position. I'd be in the pictures itself, and I'm like, oh, I already know how to do this. It's me.
That's actually
I'm the one in the picture.
There.
I'm the one in the illustration.
Yeah. Let me show you how to do this.
Nice.
And the wiki how.
Exactly.
All right.
Always nice to see.
Okay, Petty White, what have you done?
I have never hooked up with somebody's best friend, but petty wise, the best thing I've done, I would say, is this guy cheated on me and had a threesome with two girls that he worked with, and one of his buddies was a friend of mine. Sent me a photo of him in bed with the two girls, and I plastered it all over social media.
Oh damn!
Well, who was
it? Got vindictive. You didn't cheat on somebody to get back.
Who was it that last time that said it was incredible? Oh, it was Barbie Hayden. She was dating a guy, and then goes on his social media, finds out he's engaged to be with someone else. So instead of snitching on him, what she does is she posts a bunch of pictures of her with the guy, then friends every single person in that guy's group, and then posts something on there and tags all of his friends saying, "Babe, can't wait to see you again. I love you." All this kind of stuff, and they all fucking blocked him afterward. It was incredible. She had nothing but evidence, but she didn't snitch on him at all. She didn't passively snitch. It was totally passive.
It was a photo of
his
ass with two girls in the bed, and I got sent that photo, and I was everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Here you go.
Yeah, just be careful. Obviously, it's a felony.
Yeah, that's going to segue nicely into the next topic.
Facebook minute.
Sabrina, have you ever done anything petty?
Not that I can think of. I'd rather just leave.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd rather them be curious as to why I didn't come back and bother them more.
Well, there's the pettiness right there. You just left. That's great. I love it. Allie?
I feel like I definitely have, but nothing comes to mind.
No.
No.
They've never been on
Wow,
stage.
it's that bad. I've definitely done a lot, just nothing.
Well, I did a lot of wild stuff when I was younger.
Coming up blank.
So maybe.
I know I did. I just
don't
remember.
Think of anything. I feel like
we'll come back to you.
If I did do something to somebody and you're watching this, please let me know because I don't remember.
She doesn't even remember.
Please let me know, and I'm not sorry.
Yeah, DM me right now.
Sarah, have you ever done anything petty
Best time I
to get back at somebody?
Yeah, I'm sure I have too, but I can't really think of anything at the moment.
Yeah.
Either, but yeah.
Allie.
Yes, and they totally deserved it.
What did you do?
So my high school, college boyfriend, there was some emotional cheating going on, maybe physical, probably both, with his best friend / roommate. And then when he ended up finding out, which wasn't even through me, because the guy was threatening to unalive himself and stuff. When I found out, they stopped being friends, obviously, a full lifelong friendship. So then we trauma bonded over it, and then I ended up dating him for 3 years.
But that wasn't out of pettiness.
That's what I'm saying. They deserved it.
Yeah.
But
But
he took it like it was petty.
Have you done anything petty, Pat?
Yeah, I only sleep with friends when women won't leave me alone. I treat them bad, and I'm like, go away. I block them, and they still come back. I'm like, okay, you made me fuck your friend. Sorry, and it works every time. You fuck your friend, and they're like,
fuck your friend.
sorry,
I don't want to be this person.
nice, but
I think I see some merchandise. I think I see some merchandise for Pat's Shopify.
Access Vegas on the back. You made me
fuck your friends. You made me fuck your friends. There's nothing to do this. It just says so much.
It's gonna hurt me more than it hurts you, honestly.
I got a follow up question for the guys, but go ahead.
Kylie McGee, you've never done anything petty. Have you?
Everyone knows that.
Petty to
Tell us
someone?
about your most vindictive See, she knows. She's got something in her head. She's like, I don't know if I can say.
Come on, baby, spill it.
I don't think I have the strength.
I don't know.
I know what I need to do.
I mean, yeah, I have.
Have you ever cheated on somebody to get back at another guy?
I've never cheated on anybody.
But you know what? They say like women like to tell the man to inflict the most amount of emotional pain when they revenge cheat, and women are way likelier to revenge cheat. Also,
yes, that's exactly what I was about to read to you
I was
guys.
ready to say it.
Yes, all right.
Reading your
Yeah, I'm
mind.
not a fan of like
go.
strange dick. There's no like revenge dick for me. I'm not
No
doing
revenge
that.
dick.
It's not worth it. It's
Those
never
are
not.
I don't want
Now you're
strange,
McConnell.
You know something?
weird-
I agree. There is no revenge dick for me either. I don't want any revenge dick. I'm going to get back at you for ripping me off. I'm going to go get strange dick.
Women are more likely
Don't
to...
clip that. Nobody clip that. Do not clip that. Go ahead.
Women are more likely to engage in malevolent infidelity compared to men, this study finds. New study published by the Journal of Sexual Relationship Therapy, there's your therapy, the Katie Moore, examined physical, emotional, and malevolent infidelity as they relate to gender and the dark triad of personality traits. Results revealed that while narcissists predicted emotional infidelity, high sadism and gender were predictive of malevolent infidelity. Our lead researcher, won't go into the names, has previously explored the impacts of dark triad like narcissism, psychopathy, Machiavellianism, and sadism. When looking to expand this research to explore the role of the dark triad in relationship infidelity, it became clear that it was necessary to consider different types of infidelity. Some past researchers has distinguished physical sexual infidelity from emotional infidelity, but we furthered this by also including malevolent infidelity, which we define as infidelity motivated by revenge and the intent to cause a partner harm. Women are far more likely to engage in revenge after infidelity, and that's another reason why I asked about what is emotional infidelity versus like having an emotional affair. Mm-hmm. Now, would any of you like to revise your answers? Have you ever felt jilted and you did something just like vindictive, maybe not screwed somebody else, but you did something because you thought there was something going on, whether it was emotional?
I actually think what I take from that is that men don't do it as much because it just doesn't affect women as much.
Yeah,
I just don't feel like it affects
the emotional state.
Yeah, I just don't think like if you're a guy and you just do better with your life, women just don't seem to get that hurt by it, or you start saying.
Follow up for the guys now. Bros before hoes. Have you ever nailed your buddy's your best friend's or a friend of yours girlfriend?
Not that I can think of.
Or has she wanted to hook up? Oh, here's like, there's the smile. Have you ever wanted to, or have you ever hooked up with a guy's ex-girlfriend or current girlfriend?
I feel like but I can't quite put my.
Hold on.
So you're pulling a Kylie.
Let's do this different.
Okay.
Guys, what's the rule on that? So like a
Bros
guy.
before.
Yeah, no, hold on. A guy has dated a girl a couple times and they haven't had sex, and you want to pursue that girl. What's the time limit before you can talk to her?
It depends on how big of a whore she is. If she's a big whore, and she loves everybody.
No, but they haven't slept together yet.
Like,
for example,
okay,
I actually understand. Microphone.
She's like the blunt. She's like the MOA blunt that everyone hit. It's like, it's not like, oh no, that was my wife to be, and
right.
That's a whole different.
So she was for the streets anyway. That it doesn't matter.
The streets, then it's okay. But it was like the wife, then that's a whole different situation.
What do you think, Miguel? Is there a time limit?
Yeah, I think it depends on how intimate the relationship was and how much I care about the person. Like if it's if it's a girl that I'm hooking up with and there's no emotional attachment, then I'm fine if my friends hook up with her as well. Because I don't want to waste my time or waste the girls, and girls have a much shorter window on the clock. So if I'm not willing to date you, I'm fine with you exploring your options. So if I am just hooking up with a girl, then my friends are welcome. But it's more about respect. If they talk to me first, I would say yes. Yeah. But if it's a girl that I care about, then I let my guy friends know, and they will know not to. So if I, kind of like you said, boundaries before, like if they know that I like a girl and then try to like get with her, then that's someone I can't be friends with because I can't trust you, and trust is a foundation of every friendship.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Any
actually my step before sleeping with the friends. I give my friends her phone number and be like, here, sleep with them. So it'll be reversed. I give her the opportunity to sleep with my friends first, so I can blame her. And then when that doesn't work, then I have to resort to pettiness. I try not to.
Finish the sentence. The why in
Oh, that'd be funny. Yeah, actually, I lived with a bunch of guys, and we did sometimes bump heads because we were pursuing the same girls. So for anyone out there, here's some of the rules that we came up with. And Katie was actually our stenographer.
Stenographer.
Yeah, it was called FBA, Fuckboy Association, so the Fuckboy House. That was in my past. I'm a completely different man.
Okay.
I'm actually a virgin, saving it for marriage. But one of the things that we did was basically, if you're the one that invited the girl, like, say we go to a party and I bring 5 girls and you don't know them all, like, if there's a girl that I like, I would have first dibs because you wouldn't know her unless I brought her, and I brought her because I liked her. So I would have first kind of try, and if she liked me, then everyone would respect that. If she didn't like me, then you're kind of welcome to try. So I'm fun. Yeah. Oh, and then at the end, well, it was like an hour-long conversation. We boiled
Shout
it
out
down.
to Oshcon.
Yeah. We boiled it down. So in summary,
the fuckboy constitution is over.
Yeah. So in summary, it was basically if you brought the girl, you would have the first opportunity to talk to her. Everyone would respect that. It's not like I brought the girl and my friend tries to hook up with her the entire night or game with her the entire night. You would give me the space, the one-on-one opportunities to talk to her. And if she didn't like me, then I'm perfectly like female friends are more valuable than girls because like all you guys are giving me more access than a guy friend would because girls get invited to all the best restaurants, events, etc. So female friends are super, super valuable. So I'm fine.
Go ahead, Kylie.
What? I feel like girls, like, we don't do any of this. Like, we're not like, okay, guys, there's 10 guys coming tonight. Those 4. If this one says yes, like, there's 3 of us on this
Logistics.
guy. Rock, paper, scissors for Mark.
All right, so let me ask you this.
What is this?
Have
This
you
is so
and your
dangerous.
friends ever liked the same guy, and how do you guys go about that?
No, I don't compete. No, that's so stupid.
Nah,
If they, no,
yeah, never.
I'll go
No
find
girl-
another one.
Well,
I don't
so
give a fuck
all you
about
girls
that.
never had a situation when you and your friend.
No.
Or
No.
how about this? You were, you know, your
It's so
girl
stupid.
is talking to a guy, so respect that boundary.
No, let's go get them together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about like tag team?
Well, yeah, I love bisexual girls, so yes, I'm not offended by your answer at all. No, what about a threesome? Like, okay.
That ain't fun if the homies can't have
Did we
that.
just become best friends?
Oh my god.
You never finished the sentence.
Yeah, so basically, if it's more so like you girls, like if your girlfriend is talking to a guy and that guy comes on to you, would you respect their boundary and like turn them away?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so
These are so hypothetical.
no. It's normally a yes, so that's my point with the guys. The guy, my friend knows I like this girl, so he would not try to get with her.
You can
He would
tell,
respect the
yeah.
boundaries. But yeah, so then if the girl didn't like me, then free game
that's,
for everyone.
So that's where I've seen the issue is like when the guy who isn't liked by the girl doesn't realize he's not liked by the girl.
Yeah.
And then you end up dating her 6 months later and he calls foul.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, she didn't like you.
Yeah, exactly.
You never slept with her. And she had no interest in you, and it's been 6 months, and I'm talking to her, and you're upset about it. That's one thing. And the other one is this, bro. You bring 5 girls to a party, and you go home with the prettiest one, and you leave 4 girls at the fucking party, and the dude's still mad at you.
Oh my god.
That has happened to me. So
Yes.
it's usually dudes worth over $100 million. Like when I bring I'll bring like 20 girls to their house and I'll leave with the one that's the prettiest, and they're mad at me, and I'm like, bitch, I left 19 girls at your house, dude. Like, what are you mad about?
That is exactly why I asked that question.
Sometimes
too.
18 if Kylie's there, but like you know what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. Like, they're still fucking angry. Like what are you?
Yeah,
angry about?
because they're in a state of sexual deficit. They don't get
No,
they
it's
get
not.
no hoes,
It's a lack of gratitude. These guys are billionaires. Like these guys, these are like the
But
richest.
even still, those billionaires are still stuck in that blue pill mentality. It's a scarcity
that
mentality.
blue pill mentality, absolutely.
They can say like they can be the best entrepreneurs in the world and make all money hand over fist, but they think like one girl, she's this rare gem, this jewel in the needle in a haystack.
There's a guy I know, and I'm not going to say what he does for a living, but he was one of the most famous people in the world back in the 90s. Not now, not so much anymore now. And we went out and I was seeing this girl, and like she clearly liked me, but he just couldn't grasp that she was going to pick me over him, and like he kept shooting his shot over and over again to the point it got super fucking awkward. And I'm like, dude, you're almost 60. Like I didn't know how to explain it to him. I'm like, but it just didn't matter. Like because in his mind he didn't grasp, because at his peak women fucked him because of his status, and even if they didn't fuck him because of his status, he didn't grasp any other concept besides that. It's just like if you guys have ever met dudes who like have sex with a bunch of prostitutes, they don't grasp that normal girls don't sleep with dudes for not money. Like women appreciate men for other reasons. They've lost that concept to even grasp. She actually slept with him because he was funny.
The whore is in love with them.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, no, she actually slept with him because he's funny. Like they don't have a concept of that because they've been paying women for sex. And so it's the same kind of situation. Like these guys don't grasp this concept. They're like, no, they all fuck me because I'm famous. And then when it doesn't work for them anymore, it's so crazy how angry and petty they fucking get. It got so awkward because this guy just kept going after my girl, like right in front of me. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And I was obviously like, I'm not going to do anything. I mean, this guy's like really famous. I was like, I'm not going to do anything to him. But I'm like, this is really stupid. And we would just leave. And it fucked up the relationship. And like years later, I talked to him and I was like, dude, what is going? Like, did you really? He just couldn't grasp because he didn't get picked over some schlub like me. It just didn't make any sense to him.
Because he didn't go through the process of like realizing. She just picked you. She didn't do it to piss you off. He didn't do it to piss you off.
Because in his early,
she just wanted to fuck him. Because I had to deal with that in my 20s too. Like I used to be that guy where it's like, oh man, he's fucking the girl that I was working for the last 6 months. I knew I was gonna. There was a chance I was gonna be friends with her and da 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 da. And then the guy that like the chick that I was spending all this time with, the dude moves in like half an hour.
Yeah.
And just basically fucks her right then and there. And I'm thinking. She's doing it to be vindictive, like to be like sort of malevolent about it, or he's trying to he's being an asshole to me. No, she just wanted to fuck him and he wanted to fuck her. That's all it was. You know, that's all there was to it.
Simple.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really think men need to experience that. Like, I really think men need to experience that level of rejection of like going to a party, really liking a girl, and then her just totally choosing some other dude for you. I actually think it's helpful. You want to talk about therapy? I think men should absolutely face that face-on hardcore rejection of like sometimes they just don't fucking pick you because you're not good enough, and you need to be comfortable with the fact that sometimes you're just not fucking good enough.
You're not everybody's type.
For sure. And when you can do that, but see, it's a little different for women. One thing I found is that when you put women in the friend zone, they don't really take it personal because when women want sex just manifests. Women just wave their hand and then sex occurs. Like they don't need the validation.
Well, if you want to fuck your guy friends, they're not going to say no.
Yeah,
exactly. For a girl, a true guy friend is like harder to find.
Yeah.
Then most guys want to hook up with them. So like a
For
true,
sure.
genuine guy friend that respects you and doesn't want to hook up.
For sure.
Pretty rare.
Can I grab a couple more here? Intel Wild, thank you for the super chat. Salute to Captain Michael Sartain. I appreciate that. Joe Hall, thank you for the $20 super chat. Is it just me or does Oliver Tree look like the bird from the movie Up? Okay, I don't know. I don't know who Oliver Tree is, bro. You probably got the wrong. You probably super chatted the wrong place.
Yes. Yeah. Take that shit over.
Shout out.
Take that
quick question, guys.
Take that to last night.
I've been following along.
I
was wondering.
Shout out to Juan Max. I want to give you a shout out to the dude Pat, bro.
Nice.
Glad you're on, having fun.
Yeah,
Mike, happy
brother.
birthday. Kind of hard to remember because mine's today. You both are awesome. Shout out to Juan. Juan is friends with Pat and me. Juan lives in Augusta,
Shout
Georgia.
out to Juan.
And then also. Or Augusta or Athens, I forgot where he lives. He lives in Athens. For the Godfather, Intel Wild number $10 for the Godfather of the Red Pill and the Captain of the Red Pill.
Gracias.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Awesome.
Gracias. Do you want to do that? Should we do
There should be more comments in there
Bauer,
for me, right?
the Bauer video and then get out?
Can you show it?
Yeah. No, I haven't put it on yet, but I think they have it loaded. Is Lana back? Can you
the only issue is Allie's not going to be able to hear this, but the rest of you guys should be able to hear this. This is I guys want to watch see this video.
Share with them.
Oh, just so to finish that off, remember the Y in your girl is silent.
Like we ended it with a joke. Like, all right, in conclusion, after that long ass convo, the Y in your girl is silent. So our girl, family style.
Family style.
You know what? We're like, why are we fighting over a girl? Let's just all about it together. Share everything now.
Ew. Ew, gross. Dude, wieners are disgusting. I don't know how to say how you like. I'll be honest with you, dude. I like me, but I don't know how you fuck men. I think men are disgusting.
Dude,
I don't know.
if you ever look it in the eye, it's a little intimidating.
I have never done that. Men are gross, dude. I don't know how to say this shit. Well, I got a couple more. One more here. Jinx Media, happy birthday, Michael. It's the worst, but there are more hoes. Ha ha ha. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, one more time. Grammarly.com. Grammarly.com to get your before you say super chats.
Yes. Finish your ESL.
Were we able to do this? Able to show this?
I got it pulled up.
Okay, but right before. Okay, yeah, go ahead and put it up.
I don't know if there's any way you can like share your headphones and like so she can try to.
So this is Trevor Bauer.
Turn it inside out.
Like people have been asking me to do this for so long. I probably will pick this up on my Sunday show as well. But this is Trevor Bauer. Trevor Bauer is the pitcher, one of the pitchers for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Alrighty.
text Lindsay Hill sent to a friend before she ever even met me. What should I steal? She asked another, in reference to visiting my house for the first time. The answer? Take his money. So how might that work? I'm going to his house Wednesday, she said. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll. Then, after the first time we met, net worth is 51 mil, she said. Bitch, you better secure the bag, was the response. But how is she going to do that? Need daddy to choke me out, she said. Being an absolute whore to try to get in on his 51 million, read another text. Then, after the second time we met, former Padres pitcher Jacob Nix told her, you got to get this bag. I'll give you 50,000, Lindsay replied. Her AA sponsor asked her at one point, do you feel a tiny bit guilty? Not really, she replied. Since then, her legal team has approached me multiple times about coming to a financial settlement. But as I have done since day one, I refuse to pay her even a single cent. In August of 2021, Lindsay Hill's claims were heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team. Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsay Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me. And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th, 2021, without my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us. After hearing the evidence available to her, Judge Diana Gold-Saltman found that Lindsay Hill had misled the court. She found her claims to be materially misleading. She denied her request for a domestic violence restraining order, and she found that no sexual assault or non-consensual conduct took place. Now, some of you might not know about restraining order hearings. I know I didn't, but I've since learned that it's extremely rare for a request for a restraining order to be denied because the standard of proof that you need to obtain one is extremely low. So you can make of that what you will. The fact is, I was never arrested. I was never charged with a crime, and I won the only legal proceeding that took place without my side of the story even being heard. And most importantly, as I've said from day one, I never sexually assaulted Lindsay Hill, or anyone else for that matter. So I sued her, which prompted her to countersue me. Quite frankly, regardless of the outcome in court, I've paid significantly more in legal fees than Lindsay Hill could ever pay me in her entire life. And I knew that would be the case going in. But the lawsuit was never about the money for me. It was the only way for me to obtain critical information to clear my name. The discovery process in that lawsuit recently concluded, at which point Lindsay Hill's legal team again came to us with another proposal to resolve the case. This time, however, they weren't seeking any money from me. Having received much of the information that had been hidden from us, a small portion of which I've referenced here, I was willing to agree to the terms proposed. Both parties would drop their respective lawsuits, and neither of us would pay either side any money. I also retained my right to speak publicly about the case, something I have not been at liberty to do since June of 2021. So, as of today, both lawsuits have been settled. Now, over the last 2 years, I've been forced to defend my integrity and my reputation in a very public setting. But hopefully this is the last time I have to do so, as I'd prefer to just remain focused on doing my job, winning baseball games and entertaining fans around the world. So today, I'm happy to be moving on with my life.
There you go.
Good for him.
No
Fuck
smoke
that
with
bitch.
that guy, right?
Exactly.
You don't want no smoke with him.
Yeah.
So
that had been going on for like the last 2 years. The reason why I threw that up there is because just simply the text and the sort of planning. Remember, we were talking about, have you done anything really
so
devious to,
Well, so that wasn't even vindictive. That person's like probably bipolar or borderline personality
that's
disorder.
psychotic.
Right.
So here's the thing. I wrote this.
Document everything.
I quote tweeted that, and I wrote, we need to keep receipts of every person who ran with this story before all the information came out.
Yes.
Same thing with with Johnny Depp. Sexual assault is a very serious charge and should be taken seriously. False claims of sexual assault should be taken equally as seriously. This is becoming like an epidemic where this tool is now used. And the reason why I have an issue with this is because I work with domestic abuse charities and human trafficking charities. You are taking resources away from people who need it, who are actually being trafficked and actually being abused when you start saying Jonah Hill is an abuser.
Right.
When you start saying Trevor Bauer is an abuser. When you start saying Johnny Depp is an abuser, you're taking things like what you're doing is you're marginalizing women who are actually dealing with this abuse.
Yes.
And instead, because of your lack of gratitude and because you're dealing with someone who didn't validate you, or in this case, someone who is clearly a psychopath, you're dealing with a situation where you're ruining it for other people, and that's why I'm additionally angry about this shit. Again, like I encourage people to adopt animals. One of the things that hurts an animal adoption is when people breed animals. So I don't like it when people breed animals because of the cruelty, the breeding, and also it doesn't force people to adopt. It's the same type of situation. When you do this, you're not only marginalizing these women to the outside, you're not allowing them to get the resources they need because you're making up these stupid. Same thing with Aziz Ansari. This woman, this woman of her own volition gave Aziz Ansari a blowjob, felt bad about it the next day, and wrote a blog about how uncomfortable she felt, and he lost all of his work for doing nothing wrong. Sexual assault is a very serious allegation. It is, and should be dealt with harshly. False claims of sexual assault should be dealt with maybe not equally as harshly, but also very harshly. And that's why this was such a great ending. Right. And he had to wait 2 years in order to actually be able to come out and defend himself. And what I would really like is not only for this Nikki Hill, whatever her name, to be shamed, but she's a psychopath. She doesn't feel any shame. I'm not worried about her. But all the people who ran with the story and asked for the Dodgers to cut this motherfucker, they're the people who need to be fucking
Put
shamed.
that bitch in a rubber
They're
room.
the people who need to be shamed. That judge in the UK who summarily found that Johnny Depp was a fucking abuser, he needs to lose his motherfucking job.
Yep.
That's the problem. Those people in Australia who were running those news articles about Johnny Depp being abuser and how stupid everybody was for defending him, those motherfuckers need to lose their job. That's what I have an issue with. When you are running with these stories before there's any evidence out, and then once it comes out, again, if we could all just sit back and relax and try to figure out what's going wrong. And the thing is that's going to happen is, what I have a huge problem with is this is happening all over the place. With the Russell Brand thing, I don't care how guilty you think Russell Brand is. You need to wait for the evidence to come out and for there to be some level of settlement for this.
He's innocent.
But one thing I will say about the Russell Brand situation, it sure is convenient that when he was a Marxist leftist, when he started doing his podcast, that no one had an issue. And that was, he started doing his podcast after the fucking allegations came out. The most recent allegation is 10 years ago. You had all this time to come after him. But all of a sudden, now that he's alt-right, now all of a sudden this motherfucker sexually assaults women. Please stop. Please stop. When you take something as serious, like, again, I've never been sexually assaulted. I've never sexually assaulted anybody. I can't imagine what an incredibly traumatic experience this is. And for you to use this as a tool in your political arsenal to shame people, fuck you, double fuck you. You have a fucking problem. That is the worst possible shit that you can do. We talk about like how horrible it is. You're using this tool that other people, man, there are women out there that are legitimately being trafficked. I had a buddy of mine, he's a club promoter, and his family was like, you're trafficking women by bringing them to a nightclub. And I'm like, I was so angry when I heard that shit. I'm like, the world has real problems.
I put them in a car. Dude.
Yeah, like they came of their own volition. Like the world has real problems, and when you marginalize this and you bastardize these issues, it makes it so incredibly stupid and hard for people to actually need attention to get it. And then the rest of the world is like, you're just crying wolf. Right. You're just crying. Yeah. You don't understand. I'm not mad at Amber Heard because she lied. I'm mad at Amber Heard because of all the women who have been abused, who now everyone is going to go, well, you probably lied like Amber Heard. Some of them are lying and some of them aren't. But we're more likely to not believe women who are telling the truth because of Amber Heard, because of situations like this. That's why it makes me so fucking angry when I see stuff like this. I do so because I care about women who've been abused. When I see false allegations, and other women in this culture need to be, like, again, women who are a part of domestic abuse charities should be more angry at her and Amber Heard than any man should be. They should be more angry. If this is legitimate, if this is political, then you don't give a fuck. If this is political, then you don't, well, she made a mistake, whatever. No, that, like, seriously, at least jail time. At least jail time for this.
Yes. I'll just follow up with one more thing here, because I know what's going to happen. Because right now, the red pill, the guys in our space, we're the only ones who bang this gong right here. We're the only ones on this show talking about this in the way that we're talking about it, right? And that's why this space is fucking necessary, and that's why it's not going anywhere. The other thing is that not every woman will. Not every woman is going to do this. They're not all psychotic, and they're not going to do that. The problem is that any woman can, because they've got this because because they have the ability to do it. And that's why. So what happens is guys, especially critics of this space, will say, well, those guys are just paranoid. Those guys just think that it's like they're going to get Me Too'd, or they're going to get some sort of harassment or some sort of SA, charges filed against them. But the thing is then when you see something like this, when people think that you're aggrandizing or you're going over the top, at some point you're going to have to call this shit out, and this is the only place that does that. Not traditional conservatives, not Daily Wire, certainly not any wokesy news outlets. This is where you're made aware of this stuff. And until people are ready to sack up and like really recognize this, we're going to just have to be the ones that are banging this gong.
Like there are women who have been sexually assaulted and won't report it, and the reason why you won't is because of her.
Right.
It's because of her. Like, just so you know, it's because of her. So it shouldn't be me on this pulpit saying this. It should be women in domestic abuse charities, women who work for domestic abuse and human trafficking causes. You need to be on that soapbox fixing this problem. It shouldn't be me doing this. That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's women. So I'm not going to call myself a victim by any means, but I have experienced sexual trauma as a child and throughout my adult life, as well as domestic abuse. And my stories are real, but it still makes you kind of feel like you're lying when you're saying it, because you know what the other people are thinking. And that's what scares the women, because they're going to feel invalidated. And that's just something we can't allow to continue to happen. We have to have outreaches. We have to speak out. We have to speak up. We have to stand up. Otherwise it's going to keep coming.
Can I say something that's been very different? An advent, something that's changed over the last 40 years is the fact that in this case, he was suspended for 324 games of the MLB because of this.
2 years.
2 years he was suspended for something he didn't do. But how did he get away from this? Because of the video evidence. Okay, the video evidence. So my thing to you ladies is, and I know this is not the thing you want to talk about when, obviously something's going on. Any evidence you can get, film and fucking record. I tell everyone, record everything. I tell, again, this guy came up and started bucking up to me when we were at, what's it called? What's that nightclub? What's the Warwick? And this guy came bucking up, and I handed her my phone, and I'm like, babe, just film everything. Just film everything that is about to happen. I'm going to put this dude in the hospital, but he's got to swing first. He's got to swing first. You need to, I tell people, get those ring lights, those Nest things in your house. Film everything, because in the end, what happens is it's not just the filming of it. It's that you get to call these people out, because what happens, it's a he said, she said. There's one guy I know, he has a dash cam on his car, and this guy hits him, and then he moves his car when the cops come there so that he can make it seem like it was his fault. Well, he finally gets the dash cam footage after the guy lied. He let the guy lie. He let the guy hang himself. And when he did so, the guy did jail time for lying to the police. And that's how it should be. It really should be. I don't know if you guys know, in Russia, there's so much incredible insurance fraud that everyone, just like everyone in this country is required to wear a seatbelt, everyone in Russia is required to have a dash cam. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
Look at some of the crazy dash cam footage you'll see online. All of it's coming from Russia. It's just this crazy stuff that's going on. So again, like I'll tell you guys, in these situations, there's no solution. Men should not sexually assault women, and women should not lie about any of the things that are happening. But the answer, the closest thing we can ever come to, is film everything. Film and record.
Jonathan Majors. So he's Kang in Marvel Comics, and his girlfriend accused him of hurting him. And he slept at a separate hotel, let her stay at his place. Yeah. And around the time of the incident of her saying that he broke his finger or whatever, is videos of her walking to a club, her trying to drag him out of the taxi. Yeah. Or pull him into the cab. He had to break loose to get out of the cab, and she proceeded to go to the club, dance, and then ended up hanging out with the DJ, left with the DJ. Yeah. And he lost a bunch of films because of it.
Same thing. Courtney Taylor, she claimed that her boyfriend was she murdered her boyfriend. She stabbed him in the shoulder, and then he bled out. She claimed that her boyfriend was beating her repeatedly, and then, by the way, she was going to get away with it. And a video came out of her obsessively just beating the shit out of him in an elevator before we found out what the truth is. The opposite happened. Obviously, the Ray Rice situation, where we knew that Ray Rice had hit his woman. We didn't know Ray Rice knocked her out, bounced her head off of the elevator side. And then he was suspended, never played another game of football after that. I don't think Ray Rice should get the death sentence for this, but he shouldn't be able to play NFL football. I totally understand that. So what I'm saying before, the great equalizer is videotape. Yeah. Until it isn't, until we get into deep fake shit. But for right now, I recommend everybody film everything so that we don't have these type of situations. I have a buddy of mine right now. He has a huge mansion, and every single room in his house, he films every single thing he can, just so stuff like this doesn't happen. So I'm saying this for both, for men to protect themselves and for women to protect themselves. sports, you try to film as much as you can. That's what I was
And on that cheery note, let's get out of here. Derek Nelson, thank you. Rolo, what are you doing up so late? I keep asking myself that. you were not with us last night. Well, all of us, actually. Let's see. What do we got here? Why isn't she in prison for what she did to him?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think probably what happened is I think probably what happened is in the civil agreement he didn't offer to press charges, and he has to press charges in order for that to happen. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably
it would have to be defamation charges.
The other thing is if she if she sued him civilly and didn't talk to actual criminal investigators and she didn't lie to anyone, then it's not a criminal charge. And the other thing is maybe the state of California does eventually charge her criminally.
And this is on your channel. Innocent until proven guilty. And then last but not least, Jonathan Majors is going through it right now.
Yeah, you were talking about it. Jonathan Majors turns out proven to be wrong. And there's a bunch of others. There's a defensive tackle who played at Baylor who apparently was accused of sexual assault, and it came out later he wasn't even at the same place. There's their punter for the Buffalo Bills apparently was accused of ganging, like the whole thing. They actually found out through metadata he wasn't even the same building that it happened. He lost 3 years of his NFL career because of this stuff. And that's the thing. In the end, it takes a long time in investigation in order for people to prove that someone's guilty or innocent. And women are also being sexually assaulted, and they can't prove it either. So I'm going to keep saying this over and over again. Get that camera in your house, record everything. As soon as somebody comes up, flip your phone up, camera, hit record, because in the end, it's going to save you. You understand? You notice how, like, a lot of times when the police are wrong, they don't release the body cam footage. All of a sudden, the body cam footage just fucking disappeared. Yeah. Right. Oh, wait a second. Epstein died. We can't find the footage around what happened to Epstein. I don't know what happened. That's so again, that's the thing, man. Like, if you want to expose the truth or you want to protect yourself, I would request that all of you film every single thing you can, for sure.
What did you think of the show?
It was great.
This is your first time on here.
It was, and I was so anxious before.
Think about your
I was
first
so
time.
scared.
Yeah.
Easy breezy, baby.
Yeah. Any questions? Any comments? Nope. Last
good.
thoughts?
I feel good.
Last thoughts?
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. I enjoy myself every single time.
Been good.
Beautiful.
It was great.
Thanks
Alexis.
a lot.
You had a good time?
Had a good time?
Tell me what's your podcast about.
I told you I'd get out of here before, too.
But my podcast?
What's your podcast about?
Well, it was actually a comedy show that I was hosting and producing in LA, and then the pandemic happened, so then we turned it into a podcast. So I have comedians on it, people from the industry on, people of interest. We have casual conversation. We smoke weed. Whatever we smoke, sometimes or drink my beer. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It's way past my bedtime.
That's why I'm getting out of here now.
I'm thinking about food.
Some of my porn star friends are some of the squarest people I've ever met in my entire life.
We had to go
film. I had to be on set at 7 a.m. and
we had a great conversation over dinner last night, which I thought was great, and the food was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was good.
Katie.
Oh, love being here. Thank you for having me. Always appreciate it when I'm in Vegas. And
Raj from New York asked, "How do I marry Katie Moore?" That's what he
they
asked.
want to get you your green card.
Raj wants to get you a green card.
Shout out to Raj.
There you go, Raj. You got a chance.
Sabrina.
Yeah, nice meeting everyone and hearing all y'all's thoughts.
Yeah.
For better, for worse.
Love it.
Thank you.
Alley Cat.
Just fuck therapy, do Landmark.
Love it.
Landmark was really good.
Buy MOA.
Do mushrooms, smoke weed.
There we go.
That's my
I don't know
therapy.
anyone who does either. That's incredible.
Yeah, I thanks for having me again.
Yes.
I had a great time.
Is there anything you want to plug?
Thank you.
Any websites or anything?
Always. Should I plug my OnlyFans?
Of course.
Whatever you want.
Real quick.
We want to, again, we fight the degeneracy and add to it at the same time.
Yes.
We're arms dealers for both the Palestinians and the Israelis.
Yes.
We work on both sides
Lord
of the
of
fence.
War, the Manosphere.
Yeah.
It's my name, Sarah Jessie. What else? Twitter, Sarah Jessie XXX. Instagram, Sarah Jessie 420 backup. Because I had to make a new account.
Just for academic reasons. Subscribe to all their OnlyFans. Just for academic reasons. Just for academic.
And all your Instagram also in the description as well.
I teach a lot on my OnlyFans.
You teach. You teach on your OnlyFans. She's an instructor.
I'm an incredible instructor on a lot of stuff, especially in the
Lots of JOI.
Let's look at those biceps. You know how to use a shake weight? 2 shake weights? 2 shake weights at the same time? Look at these
I
arms.
can actually use my feet as well.
Look at these arms. There we go.
Talented.
Multi-talented.
Not just looking at the two men at once.
Alligators.
You guys are awesome. I felt like this was a really positive spin on a lot of the topics that you hear discussed on other podcasts. So I really appreciated that. And thank you for having me. My @ is at alligators at 2 R's and a Z if you want to follow me on Instagram or go subscribe to my spicy site.
Ooh.
There you go.
There you go. I need a plug.
Academic. Only for academic reasons. Educational reasons only. Patrick.
Hey,
Mr.
happy
Sartain.
birthday to Michael. Thanks for having me
Yes.
on. NoCap.conspiracies on TikTok.
Hey, there you
Patrick
go.
_Sartain on Instagram. And Etsy.thefashionabletee. I sell t-shirts.
Yeah, so you're going to make one called "You Made Me Have to Sleep with Your Friend."
I had to do it.
Yeah, right?
You made me sleep with your friend.
Yeah, you
Can we
made
make that
me.
one?
You made me this person.
I want to see that on Etsy. Can we do that? I want Pat to start.
We'll have it
I
tomorrow.
want Pat to start his own podcast, and I want him to go on Alexis.
Go on Shark Tank
podcast.
for that
I would love to
shirt.
see that. That would be incredible.
Hey, Sharks, I'm here today.
Porn tank.
For 100K, 10% equity.
Did you just say Shartain?
Shark Tanks.
Shark Tank.
Shark Tanks. Hey, Sharks.
Kylie.
Kylie,
How did you like your latest time on the show? What did you think?
Yeah, it was great. We had a lot
Had a
of
good
fun.
time? Having fun?
It was great.
She's got
I
never
to-
been happier.
I got to sit across from Jessica Rose the whole time.
Yeah.
Anytime, baby.
That made my whole night.
That's up. There you go.
I was here.
No.
Remember that game.
Michael.
Awesome. All right. So
when's our next show?
our next show is going to be next Thursday,
The 12th.
A couple things going on. On the 13th is going to be the Black Tape
Tape.
Party,
Yep.
Black Tape Project Mansion Party in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles,
we're the ones
California?
getting the mansion.
Okay,
Yeah, I got one actually
it's a secret location. You have to
Know
contact
somebody.
us. You have
DM
to
me
know
for the
somebody to get in.
invite. Miguel J.
have
Colon.
tape.
Yeah, hit up Miguel. On the-
You must know someone.
MIGCOLON.
That's on Friday the 13th. On the
Yes.
on the 14th is going to be Babes in Toyland
Los
Pink
Angeles.
Party for breast cancer awareness, and
Wow.
the Black Tape Project is going to be there.
Yep.
And then on the 15th is going to be the Black Tape Project fashion show that will be also happening during LA Fashion Week. That's going to be happening there. And then after that, I'm going to Arkansas for the first time in my life to go to a wedding. So
yeah.
that's going to be happening pretty soon. Right after that, and then whatever else is left on November 30th. Sometime in November, we're going to be doing the Teddy Ball. And then also at the end of November 30th, we're going to be doing Babes in Toyland Toy Drive. That's going to be coming up.
October 26th, we're doing MOA Summit.
Yeah,
So
October
running-
26th.
Yes,
We'll be on
and we all that's
Mentoring.
our also our third appearance for Access Vegas.
Yeah, so
Around
Access
that-
Vegas will probably be on the 27th
Okay.
because that night I think I'm hosting a costume party for Tao. We haven't don't have the details yet, but if you guys have ever been to Vegas the week of Halloween, there's a bunch
crazy.
of $5,000 but costume parties at every club has their own Halloween costume party. So I think that's when it is on the 26th.
And I'll
for
be
Tao.
bringing a costume.
There we go. So you guys can do the costume party. You can win some money. It's going to be a great week. But that's what we have coming up. And also Swimsuit USA's World Championship is going to be October 29th to November 5th. And we have one of the judges for Swimsuit USA right here. Congratulations. Hold your hand up. Go wave. Show the girls how to wave.
Queen Wave.
Queen
Gotta
Wave.
do the Queen Wave.
Wave. That's right.
Oh,
She's
wow.
going to be going to
We
Mexico.
should do that. Let's do that on the way out. Thank you guys for watching. Much appreciated.
There we go.
Kenya, I'm on my way. I'm coming for real this time.
There you go.
Thanks,
Awesome,
guys.
man.